Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Shutterfly. If you're like us, you take a lot of pictures because you have a camera right in your hand all the time. How would you not take a lot of pictures? And we're taking all these pictures, more than we've ever taken in the history of the world.
What are you going to do with them all?
That's the thing. You used to get a solid picture, and then you'd look through them, and you could enjoy them. Now they're like back on your camera roll. You can't even find them. You don't want that. That's why the cool thing you need to do, and what I did, and I think it's pretty cool, is create a Shutterfly photo book.
Oh.
What I did, and you're going to enjoy this, Jimmy, because I haven't showed this to you yet, but took all of our pictures from being on tour this year.
Oh.
All live show pictures, us backstage, us on stage, doing all that stuff, and like some of the venues and things, and made a little photo book out of that. Also, they have free 24-hour designer service as well. With their 24-hour designer service, a professional designer is going to lay out the book for you for free in just a day. Make something that means something with Shutterfly. Enjoy 40% off orders over $29 with promo code SMALLTOWN. See site for promotional details.
And now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to get you styled up with Stitch Fix. Shopping's hard. It's hard. With Stitch Fix, you get a stylist, though, who understands your style, your size, your budget, and they do all the shopping for you.
Wow.
This is excellent. Shopping, I'm telling you, shopping and figure out your style, it's overwhelming. Let somebody help you when it comes to getting dressed. We don't know what we're doing, so we let Stitch Fix help us out. A Stitch Fix stylist there. They know what works on us. We get the prices that make us look really good, and it feels good. You get some confidence boost walking around knowing that you're looking decent here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just give the stylist our sizes, style, budget preferences. We order boxes when we want, how we want, no subscription or any of that required. And they send called Just For Me pieces as well. Like, maybe you'd like this, and it's awesome. Outfit recommendations, styling tips. You keep what you love, you send back the rest. It's super easy.
Yep.
You can do it, and we are doing it because it's excellent. Personal styling for everyone. Get started today at stitchfix.com/STM. That's stitchfix.com/STM.
Now back to the show.
This message comes from Greenlight. Ready to start talking to your kids about financial literacy? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app that teaches kids and teens how to earn, save, spend wisely, and invest with your guardrails in place. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Join millions of parents and kids building healthy financial habits together on Greenlight. Get started risk-free at greenlight.com/Wondery.
This week, we look at the historic town of South Kingstown, Rhode Island, where a disappearance causes a massive nationwide search only to make a grisly discovery right under their noses. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Yay, indeed. Yay, indeed, Jimmy. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmy Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us this week on Small Town Murder. We are excited, as usual, as should you be. You should be excited, too, because you have murder coming your way,
That's
folks.
real.
You got murder, mister, and it's coming for you. Before we get started, crimeinsports.threadless.com is where you can go for all of your small town murder and crime and sports merchandise needs, whether it be shirts, baby onesies that say horrible things on them.
Fuck?
People send us pictures of their babies wearing.
I can't get enough. Lauren, thank you for that today.
Oh, we love that so much. That's the best. Also, live shows. You can take those shirts, wear them to live shows like Boston on February 18th at Laugh Boston at 1 p.m.
And you better hurry.
You better hurry because those tickets are selling. The 7 p.m. Small Town Murder show's already sold out. So get those 1 p.m. tickets and get those 4 p.m. Crime and Sports tickets too, because that's going to be a crazy wild show.
Right.
Also, Detroit with Dan Cummings Commons February 16th. I believe that's sold out, so
Yes.
we're going to go ahead and take that off the board.
Right.
And,
Well, the stand-up show is, but the podcast still has a few tickets
so
left.
Get
You better
there.
get those.
And March 25th, Phoenix, Arizona.
Yes.
Get here, stand up live
Yes.
for a live small-town murder podcast. And
Yes.
we've heard people say, like, oh, is it stand-up? It's a podcast.
Just
It is
a podcast.
what you're listening to now
Right.
with us in the room with
Right.
you. That's all it is. With
That's it.
There's visuals mixed in.
Right.
We'll do some stuff. It'll be a lot of fun,
Fuck
but
yes.
it's not stand-up. So
Yeah.
come out and see that.
And whiskey.
And yes, whiskey. And Jimmy will be drunk, I'm sure. That's going to happen.
That'll happen.
That's a fact.
Yes.
So, yes, do all of that. Thank you guys so much for all of your tickets that you've bought so far. We are going to announce a ton of dates next week.
Yes.
We're going to announce a bunch. We have a tons of different cities. We're looking at you, East Coast, Philly, New York, West Coast, Portland, Bay Area, L.A. We got all these. We're coming everywhere.
It's
so
going to be nuts.
wait for that. And
We're coming everywhere.
all over the place.
I will leave
It's going
that
to be
alone.
gross. We're going to need a cleaning crew when we're done in here, man. I'm telling all over the country.
We're going to come all over the country.
You know it.
All right. Moving
So
forward.
before all that, thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for your iTunes reviews this week.
Yeah.
You guys killed it again on the iTunes reviews.
That's true.
You do it every week, and we cannot thank you enough.
You guys really took James for his word, and you said a bonus app.
Yes.
We will for sure do. Did you
Yes.
see how many?
Yeah, we got a lot this week.
We're almost there already.
So 10,000. When we get to 10,000, we will do a bonus episode. Maybe
Yeah.
not the week we hit 10,000 because it might be when we're doing live shows. But I owe you a bonus episode.
Yeah.
I'll do it within a month of this happening.
There you go.
Whenever I have time, that it won't completely kill me or alienate me from my children.
Oh, we're almost there.
Almost there. Thank you guys, though, for those. If you haven't done that yet, get on iTunes,
Yes.
please. 5 stars. It doesn't matter what you say. It's not for our ego. It's for iTunes and their funky algorithm and all that stuff. It's
It's
on the
Charleston.
on the business end, helps us a ton. Another thing, the superstars, people who have done even more.
Holy shit.
Patreon.com/crimeinsports. You can make donations there. We're going to give a long list of shout-outs later
Yes.
for awesome people that have done that. Also, one-time donations, you can go to PayPal and use our email address, crimeinsports@gmail.com.
That's it.
We're so appreciative of every...
It's ridiculous.
Every dime we get, honestly, guys, we're blown away by it, and we don't even know what to do about it.
Right.
It's ridiculous. As you'll hear at the end of the show, and we thank everybody so from the bottom of our hearts. And also, this week, if you're listening on Thursday when this comes out, it will be tomorrow.
Yeah.
That Friday of the week this comes out. P.S. I Hate This Movie.
Oh, there you go.
Coming back out. Myself, my wife, Sarah Hunt.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, exactly. Okay. We make fun of bad romantic comedies and ones you might think are good. It doesn't matter.
Right.
I'm very angry throughout the whole process. It's good, and my wife's hilarious, too.
Terrific.
And she's very organized and goes through the movie without, she keeps me on track from going crazy. Because I'm not the organized one like on this one.
Right.
But never mind all of that.
Yeah.
We have to do the disclaimer.
Ugh.
We have to. Guys, everyone, people of Earth, this is a comedy podcast, everybody.
Who does that? People of Earth. I think Yoko Ono does that.
Yes, that's the thing. Well, that's I'm addressing.
Okay.
I want to address all 6
People of
billion
Earth.
people.
As if 6 billion people, 7 billion, whatever it is, would listen to Yoko Ono.
I remember Conan O'Brien addressing a statement, "People of Earth" one time, and it's like that's yes.
Yeah.
People. Everyone needs to hear this information.
Forward this to everyone.
Comedy podcast.
Yes.
This is information's real, research is real. Trust me, all real cases, real facts, real things. But we're comedians. We're stand-up comics, so we're going to make jokes.
Yeah.
We make jokes at the expense of small towns, bumbling police forces, murderers who are idiots and deserve to be made fun of. That's it. We say it all the time. We go, it's not that bad.
It's true.
We don't make the disclaimer because we say horrible things.
Right.
We make the disclaimer because some people think that true crime and comedy should never mix,
Right.
ever.
And they have strong opinions about
Yes,
what gets
to
to be
those
joked
people,
about.
we like to get them within the first 5 minutes of the show and kick their asses right out the door. Take a hike. We don't need you.
Leave, fuckface.
Yeah, you're not going to enjoy it anyway.
Right.
It's not you. It's not me. It's whatever it is. But we go out of our way to not make jokes at the expense of the victims or the victims' families. We're assholes, but we're not scumbags. We assure you of that. With that said,
you're a child at the adult party. Get
that's
out
it.
of here.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Right.
Laugh a little bit. Have a good time.
Yeah.
These things, it's not like we went out and killed people and
No.
made jokes about them.
Right.
These things happened already. We're just telling a story. Right. And that story is ready right now.
Are you ready?
We're ready
Yeah.
for you to say, Shut up and give me murder. Because it's time. God damn it.
Let's go.
Let's take a trip.
Okay.
We're leaving Canada. Got your
Good.
passport? Heading back down to the States.
Boy, did I get a lot of corrections this week from those nice people.
Oh, yeah, those nice people.
They're so nice that they'll fucking tell you when you're wrong.
Yes.
That's true.
Yes. Mainly that. I got a couple of them saying it's funny that you're talking shit about the Canadian penal system coming from Americans. It's like, I believe we spent, 50 episodes talking shit about our penal system. Your turn, fucker. Right. Grab yourself a bowl of poutine and sit down and get ready for a fucking talking to, because it's going to happen. Sorry.
Grab one of those donuts from Horton's and let's have a chat.
Not my fault, goddammit. So let's do this, and we will talk lots of shit about our legal system in this one. Let's head to Rhode Island.
All right.
Everybody's been wondering. No, this is 49. Hawaii, you're last. Sorry,
right.
fucker, but you're barely a state. You're so far out there, I don't even care. You know what I mean?
You're almost Japan.
We
anyway.
can't even see you out there so far. You have your time zone is all to yourself. It's ridiculous. You're the last one. Sorry.
6 hours from L.A. on a fucking
interest.
plane.
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Chill.
Pretty and nice and all that, but we're going to stay.
Enjoy
in
your
Rhode Island.
beaches, fuckers.
Yeah, Rhode Island's one of the, that's an old school state.
Yeah.
Not one of these brand new ones like Hawaii here.
This is an original.
An original. Yeah. This is South Kingstown, Rhode Island. And it's Kingstown, not Kingston. It's Kingstown. Trust me.
There's a W.
Watch local, yes, but still sometimes they'll pronounce that shit like that. But not here, goddammit. So don't give me any pronunciations. You can call your local news team and blame them, because that's where I got my pronunciation.
All right.
South Kingstown, Rhode Island. It's in the south central part of this tiny, tiny ass state, which is basically the size of your neighborhood.
Right.
This state.
It's the smallest of the 50.
It's so silly. The whole thing is silly. And this is at the very, very bottom here, very southern part, Washington County. It's in, which wasn't always Washington.
How do they have more than one county?
They should just have Rhode Island County. That should be it. Done. Zip code 02881, area code 401. This actually, it's pretty crazy because this town has actually got a lot of land area to it. It's 80 square miles.
Holy shit.
A lot of it used to be farms, so that's kind of where that comes from. It's big plots and everything.
What else is in the state?
Well, 80 square miles, 57 of it's land and the rest is water, because we're obviously it's Rhode Island. Right. And but the whole state is only 1,214 square miles.
See, that's
the
crazy.
whole state. That's crazy.
This town takes up a tenth of it.
The whole state is 37 miles wide and 48 miles long.
Wow.
It's like the size of like metropolitan Phoenix, basically. That's the whole state. It's insane, honestly. And if you've ever driven through Rhode Island, it doesn't take long at all. You're just there. You blink and you miss it.
How did they not get taken over by another state, though?
Man, tough sons of bitches over there in Rhode Island, as we'll talk about.
Are they between New York and Massachusetts? No.
They're south of that.
Okay.
They're kind of in their own little pocket.
Okay.
Yeah. They're south of all that. No motto for this town. Okay. No motto for the town. No motto for the county.
Yeah.
No motto for shit. They don't want. They're not. They knew what we were coming. I think is what it is, and they were like,
small for that shit.
We don't want to be made fun of. We're just not going to give a motto. Sorry.
That's just lazy. You've had more time than most everybody to have a motto.
You've had since the 1600s to come up with something.
Figure it out.
You lazy bastards. When it was first settled, the earliest settlements, it was Narragansett County is what it named after. It was named after an Algonquin tribe that was around there. They lived.
What was it?
Near there. The Narragansett County. They called it.
Okay.
Narragansett.
I thought you said Narragain, and I was like, they named it like
Narragain.
Right.
Narragain coming around here to this shithole. Narragain. I can't pronounce
the natives.
I can't pronounce
Rees.
Rees. See it. Oh man! First people to come here are first. Obviously the Algonquin tribe was here first. Obviously, Southern Rhode Island. The first guy who bought a parcel of land from the natives was a guy named Roger Williams.
Okay.
He established a trading post in Wickford in 1637. So this is some old school shit.
No kidding.
This is as old as far as we've gone back in time.
Sure.
And this, besides when we did the British episode, we did England.
And then in the fourth week of November, he had the first cornucopia and turkey with these people.
And then he murdered them all.
Right.
So, 1640, a guy named Roger Smith built his trading post. Okay. And he was like, you want a trading post?
I'll give
put
you
up
a
my trading post.
Right.
Competition, bitch. And they had like signs outside, and one said, over 4,000 furs sold, and the other one said over this many things trapped, and they had like a Burger King, McDonald's competition going on.
And all of a sudden, you've got capitalism.
That's
they created it.
They created created. These two right here. Smith's trading post was called Smith's Castle, and it was just north of Wickford. Also, Smith had a big plantation, and that was kind of like I don't know, people like gathered there at the plantation. People would they'd do kind of religious services there. Okay. They'd hold like political town meetings there.
Jesus. Sounds
social
boring.
Shit. Yeah. Let's go hang out in this guy's barn. Sounds wonderful. Yeah. It's the whole town's
talk
like, yeah.
politics.
And that they all agreed this is the best place for us to meet in the whole. This is the best we have right here. That guy's plantation.
Yeah. Did the other trading post guy get pissed about this and build his own plantation?
He did. He was sitting over there and his go, fuck, no one comes to my fucking house. Why does no one come to my house? They all go to his house. What's up with that?
What does he have? He has a better wig? Is
that
what it is?
He's got a real
douchebag,
real inferiority complex. Right. You know what I mean? You know he does have a real inferiority. He's got a real Pepsi complex. You know what I mean? I'm the choice of a new generation. Right. Come to my.
I need a black guy playing the piano as my spokesperson.
Oh boy! Well, back then, if he had a black guy playing the piano, he would have owned him. So we don't need a black guy playing the piano. Let's keep him out of here because this was. There were slaves back in Rhode Island back then, even in the north. You don't think about it, but until the 1800s, they were there. Yeah, there was, of course, disputed borders because there always is. Yeah. With Narragansett County, they had Rhode Island, Connecticut, Massachusetts were all fighting over little chunks of this and that.
Of course.
I love that back then they'd agreed on shit. Yeah. And they would settle it with bum rushing a town office with guns and stealing the records. I love it, man. Now the Narragansetts, these people in the county, they pledged their loyalty to King Charles back then. Really? It was known as the King's Province. In 1664, a royal commission under Charles II stepped in to adjudicate conflicting claims of where borders were and shit, and what things were called, and he's going to come in and lay down the law, goddammit. Now, the settlements all around there were named to kind of kiss the king's ass. Yeah. All of them. King Charles II here. There's Kingstown. That's what it was. Sure. There was Kingstown. They split into north and south. There is Charlestown, obviously. Kingston, West Kingston. Yeah. Like, let's just kiss his ass. Everything is named either King or Charles. Wow. Everything around here.
That's fucking, it's terrible.
They got over here and they're like, let's make sure he knows that we're cool.
Also, we got our own place
we're
over
happy,
here.
but we like you too.
Right. Let's let him know that we're just seceding just because we've got more land.
It's like a touring comic who calls his wife every night. You know what I mean? I feel like that's what it is. Make sure she knows he's not fucking anybody. It's 10:30 and you're on the phone with her. She's like,
not just calls her, but FaceTimes her and goes
from the room.
And she goes, "Can I see the room?" I'd love to show. I want to show you under
clothes.
the bed
he's
too.
He's got sweatpants on. He's in for the night.
Look in the closet. It's a tiny closet. That's
styrofoam containers, food all over the room. Good. Okay, things are going well.
Can I show you in the shower too? I don't have whores in there.
I don't have any hidden anything anywhere. Oh man, that's great here.
I know a couple comics that should be doing that. That's hysterical.
Yeah, whose wives would enjoy that a lot, and they should make them do that because we know what they're up to.
Put that in his writer.
Yes.
Moving forward.
Now, boundary disputes, though, even though the king settled some shit, they still argued. They still are. These fucking people cannot get along. No. They're arguing. And if you think about it, these are... And it's the same thing with people that go west in America. They go west. These are the people who aren't satisfied with where they are. These are the people who said, no, we're going over here. They're pissy. Right. They're malcontents. Well, they're not thrilled.
You leave a country and you go start your own.
Yeah.
And when you go do that whole boat ride, that's a long fucking boat ride.
You're thinking this shit's going
to
be different
the whole time
now.
You're like, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. And then there's a dude at the front of the boat saying he's going to do this and this and this. And they're all opposite of the shit you want.
That's the thing.
And then you get to that dry land and you're like, all right, let's do this shit. Another guy's like, no, motherfucker.
What are you talking about? There you go. And then next thing you know, we have wars.
All right, we're calling the king. Yeah. What? We just left that shit. That's stupid.
Oh, man. So, anyway, they changed.
And how about if you're the king and you've got to take that long fucking boat ride to settle their shit? I'd be a furious king when I got there. I'd want heads. I just floated how many fucking thousands of miles for you fucks that are arguing that left my shit? Why am I going to settle this?
He didn't come here to do it.
Well, okay, so
what do you think? He's going to soil his feet on the...
That's what I thought you said. He came to settle it.
He just settled
shit. He just like wrote a letter?
Yeah, they sent a thing across the ocean. 4 weeks later, he got it. He thought about it for a month, scratched his ass, picked his balls, sent a thing back. So 6 months later, they got word from the king.
All right.
Which meant nothing because it was from thousands thousands of miles away over an ocean that it would take him months to
for
cross.
a month ago.
So,
I just saw a king with his foot up on the bow of a boat in the fucking storm, just getting pelted with ocean rain, and pissed that he's got to get there and be like, "Fuck you guys."
Who's got a problem with thine borders? And he just pulls up, and they all go, "Oh," they settles the dispute.
Now I'm going to go back to England. Two months out of my life to say the border's here.
No, definitely not. I don't think he's like a general manager, like a regional manager of a Staples or anything. Go check on this place and go to the other. I hope he has people that
The
do
king
that.
is a regional manager.
At Staples.
He should definitely have some people to handle that.
He should have somebody, an assistant, I would think. You go over and check it out. Tell me what's going on here.
All right.
So they had slaves. They had plantations in southern Rhode Island. They used black slaves. They used native slaves. Yeah. This is when the mid 1700s is when it kind of hit its peak, and then after that they kind of said, "Hey, let's stop doing that."
Right.
You know what I mean?
You just hit him. Stop.
Yeah,
that.
let's not do that. Now the locals here, they do some interesting shit. They break people out of jail.
Oh.
They broke a guy named Samuel Casey out of jail. He was a silversmith that was. They sentenced him to death for counterfeiting coins in 1770. So the whole town came and broke him out of jail.
That's nice.
So that's nice. They were like, we like Samuel and we like his coins also. We're going to use those. So fuck him.
Those fucking Mike and Ikes are too expensive anyway.
Yeah.
I want counterfeit coins to get extra ones.
Exactly.
So he's a silversmith? So he's making...
He just makes...
okay, so he
makes
probably...
copies of the silver things. It's probably a lot easier to counterfeit back then.
Some iron ore or some
there was
shit.
no little magnetic strip in it that you look up toward the light probably.
And it's all coinage. It's not...
Yeah.
Back then they didn't have many bills, I imagine.
And I'm sure that was too, after a while they'd get run down and you could kind of pass anything off as a coin, I'm sure. Yeah. So George Washington spends the night here a few times during the Revolutionary War.
Nice.
As if you live back east, or if you've ever been back east, you can't walk 10 feet without seeing somewhere that Washington took a shit. It's ridiculous. Everywhere you go as a sign, George Washington was here. Yes, he was everywhere. Right. Stop already.
He was
town
the
I'm
president.
From. In New York where I'm from, it's like Dutchess County, southern Dutchess County. Every 5 fucking feet is one of those placards, historical placards, which are cool as shit. Yeah. But half of them are the same thing. Right. We get it. Washington was here. Move along. Keep going.
Wyatt Earp's the same way out here, though. It's all like outlaws or people that were lawmen that were famous.
Same shit.
They got a whole fucking town that would be wiped off the map if it wasn't for that goddamn gunfight.
For one gunfight. Right. So after the Revolutionary War, Kings County, which was this county, became known as Washington County. Yeah. So we switched. Oh, yeah? King? No, fuck that. Washington. Our guy. Put that in there. That's what they did here.
And we want to make him king, by the way. They tried to do that shit.
And he said, no.
He's like, listen, I left that shit. I don't want that shit.
Imagine if he was like, cool. Yeah. Like, we'd have a completely different society now.
I could
Put
think
the crown on me.
I
Let's
could think of a few
goes.
presidents that would have done that shit.
Oh, definitely here, definitely. So there's been a lot of constitutional shit here. We can go through history forever, but we're not going to do that. Okay. They were a big deal. They tried to block the ratification of certain parts of the Constitution when they had the Philadelphia Convention because they were just malcontents, like we said. Most everyone else was like, fine. Rhode Island was like, no, we're going to be dicks about it.
How did they? Was Rhode Island just like the outcast dicks from every other state? They're just like, put the 13 fuckfaces in that shit town, and we'll call it a state. We all know it's a town. We'll call that a state.
Does everyone go, are we listening to them like they're like the same as us? Right. You could fit that state in my yard.
Right.
Like what?
Fuck them.
Yeah, there's people that have farms bigger than that whole state. This is ridiculous.
They have like one vote in everything, right? In the electoral college, they get one, right? I think so.
No. Well, states have different amounts based on population.
That's what I mean. But Rhode Island has one.
One electoral vote?
I think so.
I think they have more than that, actually.
No way.
Yeah, because
they've got like 7 people.
No, they have a good amount of people.
Do they?
Yeah, way more than Wyoming.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, yeah.
I think Wyoming has one.
Yeah, Wyoming should have 0. I'm sorry. You're too spread out. It doesn't matter. Just figure it out. You should have no, sorry, Wyoming, right. Your vote doesn't count.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Either way.
So they found granite there. That's why it's the granite state, Rhode Island.
Okay.
They found a lot of granite there in the 1800s.
Good for you and your rocks.
Yeah, the University of Rhode Island is in this town.
Of course.
So at one point, I believe Lamar Odom was running around this town. Sorry, people.
It's a good place for it to be.
Apparently, people back in the day were called a Swamp Yankee.
What?
There, which describes what they are like, though. It's super weird. This is a description from a newspaper man back in the day here.
This
Quote,
is awesome.
He's a Yankee from poor origins who had to really hack it out of nothing. And then it says, he's a man who lived in woodland swamps and became fiercely independent, stubborn, obstinate, and uninformed of what was happening on the outside. He's an Anglo-Saxon farmer like me. We stayed here. We're crotchety, contrarian breed, but pride in the heritage is overwhelming.
Jesus Christ.
This sounds like these people live today.
Yeah.
It sounded like a really good description of a good portion of our society right there. That's a Swamp Yankee.
Hillbilly Yankee is basically what it is.
So, hey, southern part of the country, you're all Swamp Yankees. Take that, you crotchety, cantankerous, contrarian fuckers. And we love you for it. That's fine. They like that word down there. That's why I use that word.
It's a damn good word.
It is. Notable people here, fucking nobody, really.
Yeah.
It's a couple of congressmen, some dude who finished in 10th place on American Idol in season 11.
Who gives a shit?
How random do you have to be? Finished in it's Erica Van Pelt finished in 10th place on American Idol in season 11.
A woman from what? How long ago was that?
I don't know.
How many seasons
season
did
38
they have?
of that? I have no idea what they do here. Population of this town.
She won somebody that was once called Dog by Randy Jackson.
Yeah,
Good
exactly.
for you.
She's from here. Good luck. People in this town. Population right now is 30,000, which is above our 25 that we usually say. But the time that this occurred, what we're going to talk about, the population was about 15,000, 16,000. So
now
around
we're talking.
that. So that's in our wheelhouse there. This population has not gone down since the 1890s.
Wow.
It's gone up ever since then. The 40s, it went up 20%, 40% in the 50s, 20% in the 60s, 40% in the 70s.
Wow.
This town has grown so much.
Swamp Yankees are fucking.
They are fucking, yeah. In 1900, there was 4,900 people in this town, and now there's 30,000.
Wow.
So it's been there. Steady growth. Median age in this town, it's very average with a lot of these things, like the social stats. Median age in this town, 37.4, which is exactly on the money of the national average. Yeah. Absolutely. Females, a little bit more than males, but not much. Less married people here than normal by a few percent, but nothing major. Everything is within the realm of sort of normal. Nothing jumps out as, holy shit, this is what a weird, what a weird town. Never married is more than here. So there's some more single folks here. You can kind of... probably a better place to try to party. But single with no children is less than the average.
Oh.
So it's like people aren't married, but maybe they have kids, I guess. So that's the problem there.
Maybe not so party.
Maybe not so party. Who knows? Race of this town, pretty white, about 88% white. Which about what you'd expect there. It's southern Rhode Island. About 2.5% black, about 2.5% Asian. It's the East Coast. You're going to have some mixing in. 2% Native American, actually, which
that's interesting.
I would have figured they would have drove them out of there hundreds of years ago, long time ago, as soon as they possibly could.
Before the trading post war.
Yeah,
for
exactly.
Sure.
First, let's kill all of them, and then let's figure out who's got the better trading post.
For the king with his foot on the bow of the ship, for sure.
Definitely. About 4% Hispanic. So, kind of in his typical East Coast small town. Religion in this town, about 47% religious, which is just below the 50% norm here. A lot of Catholics, as you might expect. 36% of these people are Catholics, as we know. Catholics, the Baptists of the North, every time. You get Rhode Island, these fuckers are Catholic every goddamn time here. About 0.25% are Mormon, which you made it all the way to the Atlantic Ocean,
impressive.
Folks. Good for you. Nice job here. Otherwise here, 0.0% Jewish, 0.16% Muslim.
That's interesting.
So there's probably a community there, possibly, maybe a small community of some kind, but no Jews, goddammit.
Yeah.
That's
that
not
means
happening.
They've got some sort of temple there.
Probably.
Right? Don't they need a... what do they call their temple? I feel like a real...
Mosque.
That's the word. That's the word. That's
I don't know what I'm doing.
That's the scary word. Yeah. That's the one that fucking strikes fear in the heart of a hillbilly. The word mosque.
The Swamp Yankee does not like the mosque. Swamp Yankees and mosques don't mix. So this is going to get interesting.
Yeah.
The voting politics in this town, about 57% Democrat, about 41% Republican. Remaining 3% are independent because crotchety, cantankerous, you know it.
Gotta be a fucking contrarian.
You know it.
Yeah.
Economy in this town, unemployment rates right on the money. This income higher in here.
Yeah.
Rhode Island's an expensive state.
It is.
Which there's not much of it. So
because there's only a few people. They got to fucking pay it all together.
If you want a piece of it, it's supply and demand. There's not a whole lot of the state to go around. You know what I mean? What are you doing here? What do you expect?
Right.
The household income here is about $72,000. $1,000 a year.
That's great.
About 50. It's just under 54 is the national average. So it's actually gone down to the
Wow.
household income since we've been doing this show has gone down $1,000 average household income in this country. So yeah,
since we've started our show,
since we've started Small Town Murder, it's gone down $1,000.
Wow.
So 1 year, $1,000 down. Jobs here, there's less like blue collar jobs. There's less manufacturing, less construction, education higher, jobs in education.
Yeah,
it's about double normal because University of Rhode Island's in the damn town, so you're gonna have a lot of in a small town. You dump a major university in, a lot of jobs there. Food services is a little high, but otherwise jobs are kind of just university and more smart jobs, I guess you could say, white collar or non picking shit up and moving it. Basically, it's not Swamp Yankee work.
That's
what we're getting
That's where I'm at.
Cost of living here, as we say, 100 is par. Cost of living overall is 135 out of 100. So it's pricey. And the most pricey thing of all is housing at 173 out of 100. So that is.
Are they mostly old houses?
That is tough. Well, no, the median home age here is actually about 1 year older than the average. It's 38 as opposed to 37. Median home cost though $320,800.
Holy shit!
Not fucking around. That's expensive for your average home there, and it is pricey. I mean, you look at most of the houses. Half the houses are between $200,000 and $400,000. Most of them between $300,000 and $400,000.
That is like $2,000, $2,500 a month.
No, it is. And if we've convinced you that you are a Swamp Yankee and the only damn place that you could possibly set down your roots is in South Kingstown, Rhode Island, we have for you the South Kingstown, Rhode Island Real Estate Report. I found a 2-bedroom apartments there, about $1,120 a month on the average,
steep too,
which is $100 more than the national average. I found a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 900 square foot house.
Okay,
little tiny house, $259,900.
Holy shit!
Not a big house.
That's why people are paying $1,100 rent.
Yeah, and it's not like real sharp or ooh, it's all updated. It's just an old. Shitty little house. Sure. I found a 2-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,200 square foot condo. Condo, mind you. This is not even your own home with property.
This is basically owning an apartment.
$399,000
Fuck you.
for that. It's 2,200 square feet, but it's still a condo with 2 bedrooms. And I finally, if you want to actually have a family, couple of kids.
2,200 square feet,
condo,
2 bedrooms.
2 bedrooms.
That's some big fucking bedrooms.
That's probably a big main area or something like that also, or maybe a basement too.
Do you get to own a piece of the lobby?
Finished basement also possibly might be in the mix. And I found a 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,800 square foot house. Very nice home. $449,900.
Jesus.
So if you have a family, you want to have a decent house, that's what you're going to pay for it over there.
You've got a fuckload of money.
Yeah. Things to do here. Tons of historical crap. Tons. Just shitloads of go see the thing and the plaque with the this house where this guy jerked off and it's impregnated this one. It's ridiculous. How much historical stuff is there? So you can't even get into it. This house where this was planned at the Battle of Concord. None of that shit. No. Tons of it. If you have an interest of either... Basically, this is the place for you if you have an interest in either fishing or bewigged douchebags from times past. This is your spot right here. The beach you can go to also. There's the beach. You can hang out there.
Okay.
Crime rate, what we're interested in always.
Yes.
Crime rate, property crime is low. It's about half the national average. Which is usually these beach towns we found always have higher property crime rates.
Interesting.
You ever notice that? I've noticed every single one. I guess because there's tourists, people drink, people act stupid. Because it's a lot of probably quality of life shit. They caught a guy pissing in an alley.
Sure.
That sort of thing. But here, no, low.
Also, too, it's the places that we've done.
This isn't touristy here either.
This one isn't?
No.
The beach towns that we've done are predominantly like white, and the white privilege of just like you're drunk and you piss on the beach.
And then you get arrested for it.
And then you get arrested for it, and now you're a sex offender.
That happens.
That happens a lot.
Yeah, no, this
white people
you get
are
that.
dumb.
You get that sort of thing. I don't think pissing on the beach is kind of, it's not one. I don't think one race pisses more on the beach than others.
I think that white people just think they can do what they want.
I think what you're saying is a black guy would hide his pissing a little better.
Fuck yes, because he's going to be accused of rape.
He'd go behind a
white
building.
guy just gets slapped on the head and he's a sex offender. The black guy goes to prison for 10 years.
Well, he just knows I better go over here because when I whip this out, people are going to send him scattering for the ocean. So
white guys are like, is that guy pissing?
I can't tell.
I can't tell if he's pissing.
Hey, he's just dumping
black
out a
guy
water
is
bottle.
like, that guy's for sure pissing.
He's definitely pissing. Violent crime here. Violent crime is about a third less than the national average also. So it's a safe, little, nice, small, affluent kind of a town. A nice little Rhode Island town, basically. A little East Coast town, kind of the typical what you'd expect, honestly, if we're being realistic here.
Sure.
This town was even safer back in the day, obviously, because things have always fallen apart. But I mean, back in the day, it was considered even more safe. It was half the size, especially back when we're going to go all the way back. Jimmy Calendar's pages are flying, lightning's flashing.
I love this
going
part.
back in the time machine all the way back to May 18th, 1975.
Okay,
so we're going back in time.
Yeah.
Different time period.
It's a little smelly.
It's a little smelly. Lots of bush, as we described, on for everybody, all genders, bush everywhere. We in the 70s here too. This reminds me of a Raynham, Massachusetts kind of a thing because it's that same kind of New England 70s. Just kind of a safe. The kids are playing outside. The mothers are like hearing them, paying attention to them through open windows and shit. It's like very small town, East Coast. There's pies cooling, I feel like, on windowsills everywhere. The
town smells like cinnamon.
It just smells like everyone's got a pie out. It's like, Barbara hasn't put her pie out yet today. It's 4:30.
Where's that lazy bitch?
She is not. They're not going to have dessert tonight, and I am sorry. Her husband's going to beat her severely.
Knock the fuck out of her.
And she's going to deserve it.
Right.
That's not coming from us. That's coming from Joyce, the lady who lives down the street from
nosy
Barbara.
Bitch.
She's very nosy, and she's just, who cares? What business is it of yours that Barbara makes pies? Maybe Barbara doesn't want pie tonight.
But Joyce did an 8-ball at 8 a.m., and she's got 4 pies cool.
Yeah, she's got that like 60s, 70s housewife weight loss meth running through her body. She's just walking back and forth across her house going, I don't know why she doesn't make pies. She doesn't make pies. Those kids aren't going to have pie. Those kids, she's a terrible mother. I'm going to call the police. I'm going to call the government. I think she should take those kids away from her. She needs pie.
Somebody should watch her.
Yeah, somebody should watch her. Keep an eye on her because I don't trust what she's doing at all. I know she's not doing anything. She didn't chop up. How long does it take to make a pie? All you do is chop some apples. It's not that big of a deal. Vacuuming.
I saw her in produce buying cucumbers, that lazy bitch.
Yeah, I know she did. I saw it. So this day,
all right,
May 18th, 1975, let us introduce a couple of folks here. Let's talk about John and Joyce Foreman. Okay, John and Joyce Foreman.
Jesus. We had a Joyce in there. This is not this Joyce. This is not the Joyce.
No, this is not the Joyce we were talking about. This is just
randomly
Joyce that lives down the street.
Joyce.
Sorry, Joyce, right. And probably from all the research
she does
this
not
week.
do cocaine.
The name Joyce was just in my brain, and
we hit
popped
that
right
reference
out.
for Joyce.
Oh man! So South Kingstown's broke down into villages.
South Kingstown has several Joyces.
They have several Joyces. Not the only Joyce. Come on, guys. It's broken down into a bunch of villages, as a lot of the towns are back there. It's there'll be this town, and in that town is the village of this, and this. It's this sort of thing.
It's like subdivisions in Phoenix.
Pretty much the same deal here. There's a village of Peacedale in here. That is, that's where we're going to be right now. That's where the Foremans live.
Okay.
They live in Peacedale on Schaefer Road.
Okay.
So nice little town, and it's this is a quaint little area. It's kind of old and it's a nice little kind of historical area, I would say here. They have a 10-year-old daughter named Raven, which was an odd name for the 1965.
70s?
They named her Raven.
Maybe they did a little PCP or something.
Well, it's 65. You'd have to be like a beatnik at that point. Like that's even before. This is before like
they started off.
This is we'll name her Raven, bro. Like it's very strange.
Yeah.
It's very strange, but I'm not sure if. John and I'm not sure if this daughter, Raven, is Joyce's daughter or not. Joyce
could just be John's from another relationship.
Because today, May 18th, 1975, in case you're wondering what day we're in, is Joyce's 25th birthday.
Okay.
So she has
would
a
have
10-year-old.
to be fucking 15.
Yes. Now, I know they met when they were teenagers, the two, but it sounds like maybe this is or maybe he knocked her up. It's the 60s. Who knows?
You never know.
And if a chick, if a chick will go all the way in 1965, she might name her kid Raven, too. I don't know. I don't know how that works.
She's done some parking.
So that's what I mean. They were parking back then. She's making out with Kanicki and the guy. It's a mess. The whole thing's a mess. Whole thing's a disaster. So John and Joyce Foreman, they have a 10-year-old daughter named Raven. There's an older brother. There's 10-year-old Raven. Below her is John the fourth.
Oh, boy.
Fourth.
Yeah.
4 Johns. A lot of Johns.
So John's a third.
John's a third.
Yeah.
And this guy's a fourth. And then there's a 5-year-old son named Jason.
Jesus.
Okay, so they have them they're like 5, 7, 10.
25. She's dealing with a 5-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 10-year-old.
Which in the 70s, 25, you had a couple kids, you're married off.
clothes.
That's what you did back then. The average that people, and I saw this recently in like 1981, the average age that people got married was like 23 for a man, 22 for a woman.
Wow.
And now it's like 31 and 29.
Yeah.
And it's like
fuck that.
way up. So in the 60s, it was like probably 21 and 20 for Christ's sake.
My mom was 25, divorced twice, and had 3 kids.
That's what I mean.
Makes sense.
People got married early. If you were 27 and you didn't, you weren't married and had some kids yet, it's like, you better fucking get cracking here. You're not gonna find a man. You know, God forbid. Like, that's what it was, though.
That's crazy.
People are worried you're going to be an old maid.
That's that's what it is when people don't mind their own fucking business.
Yeah, so that's Joyce. That's Joyce, not the Joyce Foreman.
Right.
Joyce down the street.
Right.
She's going to be an old maid too. I know that. That's what's going to happen.
See what happens when Joyce she ODs and she's not around anymore, and everybody like her does that, and then the fucking age of everybody keeps to themselves, then the age goes way up.
That's what happens.
And we just stop. We're like, fuck Joyce. Joyce, I'll be an old maid. Go fuck yourself, Joyce.
Sorry, go away, Joyce.
Right.
So Joyce here, this Joyce, not neighbor Joyce, very confusing. Joyce Foreman.
Yes.
Not all the shit we're talking is about neighbor Joyce.
It's another Joyce.
Who's a fictional person.
And she's a twat.
Who I just invented for no reason. This Joyce is a real person, and from all accounts, the sweetest woman on the planet.
Oh, I'm sure.
She's sweet. She's nice. Yeah. The kids love her. The neighborhood kids.
Awesome.
She's as sweet as can be. This woman here. It's a small town. 1975. The kids are playing outside because in 1975, if you lived in Rhode Island, you just said, get out of the fucking house and go play.
Please.
Go home, come back when it's dark.
Yeah.
That's
I
it.
got pies to make.
Pies are in the oven. When you smell pie on the window, still get your ass back in this house.
If those street lights are on and I smell pie and your ass is in this house, I'm going to beat it. Right.
Then I'm going to beat you up. Right. Then you're not getting any pie. Because back then, beating your children was considered good parenting.
Right.
You got to pay attention to them. Give them a smack once in a while. That's what it was.
Pie or a beating? Which did you get last night?
You were explaining last week how you would thank your neighbors for hitting your kids for you. Thanks for smacking my son around. He was getting out of hand, and I appreciate you really giving him the back of your hand. That was good. So
saving me the trouble.
Yeah, back then they didn't have. I mean, there was 3 channels and things like that on TV. So inside, imagine having 3 kids in a house with no they didn't have PlayStation or Xbox or anything like that to play with. They didn't have a phone to dick around on. Just kids wild in your home, breaking shit and playing ball and everything else. Get out. So they're outside playing. They're all outside. Jason and John and Raven are all outside. There's a bunch of other neighborhood children too. It's a typical. It's a Sunday afternoon.
Oh Jesus!
So, I mean, they're all outside
this sounds
playing.
Beautiful.
Oh, it's terrific. They're like
sounds loud as fuck is what it sounds.
3 months ago, the Patriots wrapped up their season. This is great. Let's get it going. It's Boston. It's a Red Sox season right here because Rhode Island gets all the Boston media for some reason. Poor bastards. So it's all of that. By the way, February 18th, Laugh Boston. Come out there. So they're all out there. They're playing Red Sox. One guy's he's pretending he's I don't even know Carlton Fisk over here, and that's what's going on here.
Carlton Fisk.
Fisk played for them in the mid-'70s.
He's
what
great,
are you talking
too.
about?
That guy's awesome. Was it the 70s he was there?
Yeah. He went back and forth with the White Sox.
All right.
Anybody with a sock in the title, he'd go play for.
He's there.
But that doesn't matter, damn it. All right, moving on. So they're outside playing. There's like 4 other neighborhood kids along with the sister and the brother.
Okay.
Joyce at 3:30 p.m. Open window. She has the window open. Pie cooling.
Sure.
I think she was just opening the window, getting prepared to put the pie out. 3:30 is a little early to put pie out. Come on, what are we doing here? But at 3:30, she can hear all 3 of her kids. She hears Jason, the 5-year-old, yelling something and laughing and doing whatever. So she's like, as a parent, you take mental stock.
Yeah.
I heard that one. I heard that one. I heard that one. Okay, they're all
got it.
Got them all. Good. All right, moving on. Now I don't care for 15 minutes.
Right.
One of those things. They're alive for 15 more minutes. Fuck them. So they're all out there. At one point in the afternoon, Jason, the 5-year-old, announces to everybody that he's going home.
Yeah.
I'll see you guys later. I'm going home. And he runs down the hill. Down the hill, there's a fire station located at the bottom of the hill.
Sure.
And then the street he lived on is right there. It's a hill, fire station. Right there is his street. His street is 30 yards from the fire station.
Okay.
Right there. So they can all see him, see you later. And they do this every day. They're kids that play in the same neighborhood. He goes home, goes down. The kids watch him go to the fire station. They go back to playing. Nobody ever sees him again.
Oh, boy.
Gone. 5-year-old kid, Sunday afternoon, broad daylight, middle of the day. Disappears. And this isn't December where it's dark at 4 o'clock. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon in May. It's light out, bright out, nice out. Like I said, they're playing stickball over here.
Fuck yeah.
Kid never comes home.
Okay.
Which is insane. So obviously, that's a big deal.
Sure.
The other kids come home, and when they come home, the mother's like, well, where is Jason?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, he came home an hour ago. And she's like, no, fuck no, he didn't.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, too, you never know because it's a 5-year-old.
Right.
5-year-olds hide. They play games.
Bastards.
Literally. Like, my 5-year-old's done this where I can't find him for a fucking half hour, and I'm ready to have a stroke, and then he comes out, I got you. And you're like, are you out of your mind? I will knock you out.
In a fucking clothing store.
Yeah, no.
In the center of that goddamn clothing display.
Yeah.
I had no idea which one, and I'm running around the store losing my fucking mind.
Fucking should want to choke this kid because you're putting so much stress on. How dare you make me worry about you? I will kill you.
When he came out, I wanted to warn him. When he's like, I got you, I'm like, oh, Christ. And I wanted to tell him why I was so scared, but he's 5, and I can't tell him I was terrified you were being ass raped
People
somewhere
want to
with
rape
a knife.
you. Do you understand that? Do you understand that you were catnip for pedophiles right now? Are you getting that for 2 fucking seconds?
I want to ruin your mind right now and tell you how fucking horrible this world is.
Jesus, no
but
shit. But you could. That's probably for the best.
Through my tears, I just said I was just so scared you were gone. Where would I go? Never mind.
Doesn't matter.
Let's go get a sucker or something, right?
It's where you would be taken is the problem.
It's not where you would go. It's where you'd be taken.
That's the issue. Yes, that's what we're worried about here.
It's no not where you'd go. It's where you'd end.
Yes,
you fuck.
And no follow-up questions, please.
Like Bill Belichick, we're looking forward to Sunday. That's it.
That's it. Nope, not going to answer anymore. Well, I'm following up on that. Nope, not going to follow up next. So they search for this boy.
Of course.
Obviously, after they look around the house, they can't find him. Look in the yard. Jason, the typical shit. Where is he? They call the neighbors. Did he stop by your house? Neighbors that he might talk to. Did he see this one out on the porch and stop and hang out with him for a while? Yeah. When I was 4 or 5 years old, I used to just wander down the street. My grandfather used to watch me. I used to just wander down the street, and like 7, 8 houses down, like in the next block, there was this old lady. She was like 90 years old, and she was like an old lady, and she had like the little cart that she, had from the store and everything with the little groceries in it. And if you knocked on her door, she'd give you candy.
Jesus.
As a 4-year-old, she'd go, "You're so cute," and she'd pinch your cheek, and she'd say, "Let me get you some candy." And she'd turn around, she'd come back and give you candy. There you go, sweetheart, and she'd send you on your way.
It's normal, but in my head, I'm going, "This is so fucked up."
Yeah, now we're like, that's creepy.
Yeah.
Sweet 90-year-old lady who's got a small child at her door and gives them candy.
Right.
So she was born in the 1800s, this woman, for Christ's sake. You know what I mean? Like, she's a sweet old lady. But this reminds me of that. Like, and one day, I don't remember, but I ended up like talking to her on the porch for a while.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was, but my fucking mom freaked out, and they were ripping the neighborhood apart searching for me because they thought I was kidnapped and ass raped.
Yeah.
And instead, I was sitting on this lady's. I came home with some candy, like, "Hey guys, how's it going?" Like, "Where the fuck have you been?
Where'd you get that candy?" Somebody gave it to me.
Like,
What'd they do to you to give you that?
I was down at her house down there, and they're like, "What?" So that's what this reminds me of. The second I read that, I thought of this, like maybe he's at like an old neighbor's house, or like hopefully a nice person's house, or something like that, because it's an old-timey shit.
Sure.
And this was in the 80s. This was happening to me. 10 years earlier, it was probably even more common.
Yeah.
The father, John Foreman, who you're going to hear a lot from over this episode, you're going to love John Foreman and Raven, the sister.
Okay.
John Foreman is my hero.
Yeah.
And I just love this man a lot, and we'll find out why later on. John Foreman says, quote, "We searched all night long. The whole town was out searching every day, but there wasn't a clue, nothing. So much of it is blurred out of my mind."
Every day.
Every day.
How long?
They searched for 8 days straight.
Oh, Christ.
And we're talking national thing. The police organized a massive search party of up to 2,000 people.
Searching in shifts.
Searching everywhere to help. They searched all week, and then the Saturday, he disappeared on a Sunday, and then that next Saturday is when they went. That's when thousands of people
there
came.
were 14,000 people in this town.
Yeah.
There was 2,000 people searching all day.
People came from out of state.
Wow.
People drove from the military sent people to look. Like, this was a big fucking deal. This wasn't like now where there's always a 5-year-old kid missing. This was like, hey, 5-year-old kids don't disappear from this town.
Right.
We will find it. And everybody was like, well, we knew it wasn't a local that took them. It's this town. Everyone knows each other. It's a nice place. Obviously, it wasn't that.
We all know when Joyce, you know what I mean? Like, never mind. It'll just make everything confusing.
Okay. Yeah, Joyce. Too many Joyces. Detective Captain H. Ronald Hawksley, who was another hero of this.
What a fucking great name.
That's a detective captain name.
Shit,
Detective Captain H. Ronald Hawksley.
H. Ronald.
Yeah, he was
Jesus.
he shot people from a helicopter in Vietnam,
yes.
old H. Ronald Hawksley. And he's got a good firm handshake, the captain here, and a good business card. That's a good-looking business card, Detective Captain
But he loves
H.
that
Ronald
old
Hawksley.
joke. He loves that old joke about the military paper, military toilet paper, where you fold it in fours and then you pull that little center out, and then it's like a square with a hole in the center. And then it's military paper. You put your finger through it and you wipe your buttocks, and then you clean your finger with that piece of toilet paper. And then you go, "What's that little piece of toilet paper left for?" It's to pick the shit out of your nails. And H. Ronald loves this joke.
He thinks it's the best.
It's his favorite joke.
Yeah.
It's somebody else's joke.
He
He can't get enough of it.
He loves old school, old-timey, He tells a joke.
He'll tell you the best joke with the N-word in it you've ever heard.
He tells he's like, "Yeah, I got crabs back in Nam. You know how to get rid of them, though." And they say, "Set the one side on fire and stab the other side with an ice pick," like he does one of those old man STD
you
jokes.
Shave one half and light the other side on fire and stab them with a fork when they run out.
That's the old man joke.
I know a comic that's told that on stage.
Actually, yes. And multiple times.
So many times.
And he's a nice man.
He's a sweetheart.
And he was in Vietnam. That's the thing. That's what we're talking about. So he's an old man. So H. Ronald Hawksley says, quote, "We're crossing our fingers, hoping to get up to 2,000 people to join the search." Which, they said they have up to 200 police and volunteers daily. Have since then all week have combed the woods, the areas, the ponds. They did a 5-mile radius around the child's home. Literally they were combing ponds.
5 miles.
People were going in ponds and just looking for shit. They didn't care. They had dogs. They had everywhere. They said he was wearing a blue pinstripe polo shirt, maroon pants with a patch on the knee.
That doesn't match.
He's it's Sunday. That was back when you had play clothes and school clothes.
Right.
Those
It's
your
got
play
a patch
clothes.
on the knee.
Fuck out of here. Yeah, you're going to destroy your school clothes. This was like his worst clothes, and they sent them out there.
You're goddamn right. It is a blue and white striped polo shirt and maroon pants with a patch.
Also, it's 1975.
Right. And he's playing on a grassy hill.
This is the height of fashion, probably, in 1975.
They were corduroy.
He was on the cover of GQ that month, I believe. He's about 4 feet tall, blonde hair, blue eyes.
Yeah.
He's missing from 23 Schaefer Street.
Shit.
Hawksley said, quote, "Let me say that with each passing hour, I feel more sure he may be met with foul play."
Fuck.
So that's every day, and obviously every minute that passes, you're like, "Oh, this is getting worse and worse." No one's calling saying, "I have your kid for ransom" or anything like that. This is just disappeared.
Yeah.
So that's never good. Hawksley said he hoped that good weather would be there Saturday because without the good weather, you're going to get a lot less people coming out, and a lot. It'll be impeding the search.
Right.
He says, "quote, if the weather is bad, we may postpone it until Sunday. We want all the conditions to be perfect."
How much of an asshole are you that if you're considering going to look for a missing 5-year-old...
It's raining.
It's raining today.
Well,
fuck that.
You figure most of them, they're not...
You're an asshole.
They're casual... Well, that's what everybody's doing today. But it's raining. It's like, well, I don't know. We were going to either look for the boy or go strawberry picking, but it's raining, so I don't think we'll do either. I feel like that's what people were doing.
What an asshole.
Yeah, what do you want to do?
What an asshole thing to do.
It's a little rainy. I'm feeling stuffy. I don't want to catch a cold. You know what I mean? I got stuff to do this week, so it's kind of...
I don't want the water in my shoes.
Memorial Day's coming up. I'm going to have a barbecue. I really kind of want to be sharp for that. And the allergies right now anyway are killing me. So if you add to that the rain, I just don't think it's going to be good for me.
That's a fucked thing to do to somebody. Somebody's missing their child, you asshole. Put on a coat and get an umbrella, you fuck.
Well, I think, too, it means like also the woods would be harder to search in the rain. It's muddy. People can't get through.
But he said we're expecting 2,000 unless we don't get better weather.
No, he just said that it's he's hoping for good weather to hold. He said if the weather is bad, he may postpone it. We want all the conditions to be perfect.
Okay. He's going to call it off?
Yeah, they don't want it to be like, okay, we searched all of here, but that was like swampy, so we couldn't get to that section. He wants it to be a sweep of, okay, we can clear that. He's not here, definitely, and he's
Here's
not
the
there.
thing, though. If I've got a 5-year-old missing, I don't give a fuck what the weather is. You search everything, swampy or not.
Yes, and I'm sure they would search, but to have 2,000 people wandering through a swamp might not be the most efficient way to go about things. I still think in the rain you go, you know what? There's a missing kid. Let's take a look.
Yeah,
what do you
let's
say?
have a gander.
I don't think he was going to go home and watch the game.
Right.
I don't think he was going to go watch the University of Rhode Island basketball game after that. Yeah.
Right.
I feel like he would search still.
Yeah.
But for the volunteers, Hawksley's going to, he announces command posts. They set this up here. They have command posts where volunteers can gather and get organized.
Yeah.
And you search this section, you search that section. He said the members of the National Guard, Navy, and Marines from Newport are expected to come join the search.
Unless it rains.
Unless it rains, and obviously, yeah, then all they're going to have is him and a couple of postmen. No one else will go out in the rain.
Him, a couple of postmen, and the parents. That's
parents. That's it. He said that if they can't find the child with the massive search.
Postman.
But yeah, it's rain.
I know.
Yeah, he just got that.
Sleeter snow.
Took him a minute. This is why I got to come
you guys,
to live shows.
The mail system works in every climate.
There
That's
you go.
why.
Thank you.
You all got that.
Yes.
And it fucking sailed right over me.
This is why I got to come to live
I'm
shows.
Postman, what?
Because I'd say that, you'd laugh, and then I'd look at Jimmy like you didn't get that, and then he would go, "Oh, I'm a moron," and then you'd all laugh at him again. So it'd be great.
Postman.
Now, they say that it won't be the last search if they don't find him, obviously. Hawksley said, quote, "We won't stop looking. We owe it to the family to keep looking. If we call the search off, it will be for a good reason."
Yeah.
What the hell could a good reason be? We just hope that somebody has this boy and is taking good care of him, Hawksley says. Yeah, that's the odds on that are great. I would say.
I hope that he said both of those sentences real close together.
Yeah. We just hope, for good reason. We just hope that somebody's taking,
We just hope that somebody has him.
And just say,
And is taking care of him.
And is taking care of him. Good care.
Yeah.
Not just taking care of. I took care of him, and not that. Not like an Italian
No
take care
wink and
of.
a
Not one of
nod,
those.
right.
Yeah. So he says that if anyone obviously has any information, call it in. They said you can call the police station or send a letter to Box 10 in Wakefield. That's this old school.
Meanwhile, we're going to be searching.
And he said, quote, "There will be no questions asked. All we want to do is find the boy."
Jesus.
So they're just saying, we don't even care. The police captain's also there. There's police in Brockton that are coming in to help. It's everybody, all hands on deck, everyone in the fucking area here. Also, the crazy part is, though, they are very concerned because the police captain in Brockton, the reason why he's interested in this is because last year on June 18th, not May 18th, June 18th of last 74, a 5-year-old boy disappeared in Brockton, which is in Brockton, Mass, which is very close by, without a trace. A kid named David Lewison, who is the son of an attorney named Melvin Lewison, and he says, quote, "There are similarities between the two disappearances. The cases are very parallel. We're looking for clues to find Jason by talking to them. We've been talking to them every day." So they're talking to people in Brockton, too, to see if there's any correlation here to this. Keep that kid in mind, by the way, because...
Lewison?
Keep that kid for a second. Now, Jason's older brother, John, remembers this. Yeah. Imagine if you're his older brother and you're like, just waved at my little brother. You would never think twice, like, oh, better make sure I say... It's your little brother. You see him at home. And little brother's a nuisance. Yeah, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Go. Yeah, you were shitty in our wiffle ball game anyway. Like you can't hit a curveball.
We
Get
got
out of here.
5 on 5 already. You're going to be a 6. What are you doing?
And he's it's a 5-year-old, and that's probably why he went home. He was felt left out. Maybe I don't know. Either that or he was thirsty or had to take a dump or something. We have no idea. But his brother John said, quote, "I remember playing with him and he was going home, and that's pretty much what I remember of it. Then later in the day, Mom crying nonstop, Dad driving like a maniac all over the place trying to find him, and the fire horns. The following day, the state police with the dogs in the woods and just going through everybody's house.
Jesus.
They do house-to-house searches.
Wow.
This is no shit. They're like, because they think maybe he could be hiding somewhere, or he could have been put somewhere, or he's 5, he's
like
tiny.
Nazis looking for Jews.
Yeah, he's 4 foot fucking tall. He's tiny. You could put him anywhere. And he could be hiding anywhere. He could get stuck somewhere. He might have fell in something.
Yeah,
that's the thing
worst.
too. You don't know. These are old houses. Who knows if he fell on a thing? He's trapped in somebody's basement. So, I mean, they're searching house to house, 5-mile radius, combing swamps. They're going to find this fucking kid. Now, his uncle Peter, Peter Schofield, who is Jason's uncle, he was stationed at Fort Dix back then, and he was called home to help for the search.
No
for him.
jokes.
No Fort Dix jokes. We're better than that. But we'll make stupid male jokes, but we're better than Fort Dix. Jason, he says, quote, Peter Schofield said, quote, I received a phone call Monday morning around 7:30 or 8. My wife said the FBI was on the property. I asked her why, and she explained. In the meantime, they had searched my home, the attic, and everywhere else. We lived on High Street upstairs above Jason's granddad. So what he did was this Schofield got transferred from the military back to South Kingstown and served for 2 weeks there under Hawksley searching for Jason. He said, hey, can I, I'm in the fucking military. They're calling military. Can I go there? Right. Yeah, so he does. They searched for Jason. Schofield said, quote, there were high emotions among the family to start with. It's a feeling that's hard to describe when you have a total loss of something.
No doubt.
I can't imagine. Like I said, you lose your kid for 5 minutes and you freak out and you, oh, Jesus, and you're ready to die. And then he comes and you're like, oh, God, Jesus. And you're, a week, even a day.
I can't imagine
the horrors going through anybody's mind. It's horrific. The fear here is the most.
Letting that sit in for an hour, I can't imagine.
No, I can't either.
And anything beyond that is so foreign to me. It makes my skin crawl. It's so scary.
It is, man.
Because they're so innocent and tiny.
Well,
and you've seen them cry.
And then, about anything.
Right. And while they're gone, when they're gone for that amount of time, all you can think about is they've been crying that whole time.
Crying. They're unsafe. Are they scared? Right. Are they cold? Are they hungry? The whole thing. Yeah. I'm Italian. I think of hungry first. That's my first. Is he hungry? Can I feed him something? I don't care if he's bleeding.
He didn't even eat his
rigatone. That's my grandmother. That's a grandmother thing there, where grandma would say, "My baby's hungry. I don't know. Even if he could, they could be almost kill him, but he might be hungry still. You never know. He's a growing boy. He needs something." That's what she would. Ridiculous. She'd be searching the woods with a plate of rigatoni in her hand. If we find him, he's going to be hungry. We make him. That's exactly what she would do. I swear to God, she would have a bag of food,
wandering around with like a tin tray with a portable fire under it to keep it warm.
That's the thing. The Sebastian Maniscalco joke about when he goes to school and he's got all a veal piccata and shit and dinner from the night before. And in a big, that's what my grandmother used to pack me if I stayed at her house. She said I had not a paper bag, a grocery store bag, like Emilio Estevez in Breakfast Club, with 40 things in it, and it's ridiculous. The cookies like Sebastian Maniscalco. It's the same thing. I had the same thing. Just shit, fruit, and what are you giving me? Ridiculous. So. Grandma's searching for him in the woods here. Peter Schofield, by the way, said, quote, my wife and I used to babysit when John and Joyce had to do something. We were aunt and uncle, but also close members of the family, and it's been that way for years. So Peter Schofield's going to hang around this whole thing because he cares.
Yeah.
They searched that weekend, that Saturday. They don't find him.
Yeah.
They can't find him. It goes on for years. Years. They don't find him.
Birthdays, Christmases,
just nationwide manhunt. They're putting out national, flyers and things of that nature, looking for this kid. People thought he was kidnapped, obviously, because they didn't find him somewhere, fell down and hit his head or something.
Yeah, that's a logical conclusion.
Yeah, they figured that. They circulated thousands of posters and flyers. They offered a $6,500 reward, which I think you could up that amount a little bit.
Seems a little cheap.
Let's just make it $50.
Is that what a 5-year-old is worth in 75?
$6,500.
$6,500.
Well, I think maybe this was 76 and a half. So they were like, hey, 6 and a half, we'll do $6,500. I can only imagine. Why $6,500? Is that all they could raise?
Right.
Jesus, I'll chip in. What are we doing here? Patreon.com/crimeinsports. Let's up this reward, guys. We'll chip in, all of us. Fuck, man.
Jesus.
So information was checked out because there was different tips coming in from New Jersey, Montana, California, everywhere, all over the country. There was tips coming in that amounted to nothing.
Yeah.
The Foremans and Hawksley kept searching. They kept searching. Joyce, the most. Real Joyce, not fake Mom. Joyce. Real Joyce, acting like Stranger Things, Winona Ryder Joyce, searching for her goddamn son.
Got it.
And never giving up. Hawksley said, quote, Joyce wouldn't quit. She had no doubt in her mind that she'd find the young guy, and I wanted to believe it. Mm-hmm. So, this is very much Stranger Things. The kid's gone. She's searching. I feel like this guy is the same thing as the captain from Stranger Things, Hawksley. I figure him with the big hat, and he's like Hopper.
Right.
Hopper and Hawksley. Hawksley, Joyce is...
Too close.
This is fucking close.
It's too close.
This is very close. And Hawkins is the name of the town in that show. Hawksley, it's very close. Lots of parallels. So this poor kid, though, they can't find this poor kid anywhere. This goes all the way on. They're talking years. 1981, there's an article where they talk to Jason's mom, Joyce.
Yeah.
It's insane. She became a crossing guard in 1977.
I thought you almost said something else.
A cross-dresser?
Yes.
She became a transvestite in 1975.
I'm like, what?
How
did that happen?
She changed her name to Jason in honor of her son. She's now Jason Foreman. Let's respect her wishes, everybody.
It's true.
Let's
she
respect
uses
her.
the men's restroom
yes,
now.
that's right. Good for you, Joyce. You know what? Good for you.
She's done baking pies.
Yeah, she became. My pie days are over in many ways.
I'm only eating them from here on out.
Yeah, she became a crossing guard in 1977. She said it was hard to take at first, seeing all the kids around. Why? I would avoid kids.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if maybe that would make you
you
feel better
one
about
way or
it.
the other.
Yeah, I don't know what you would do, but and for her, she wanted to take care of the kids and protect them was her thing. That's why she was a crossing guard, so she could protect them. But also, it was painful for her too. So it was like a self-torment thing that people always do to themselves. She said, "quote I had one kid whose name was Jason. Every time I heard the name, I would snap around. Then I said, this is ridiculous. I have to keep my mind on this job because she was." I don't blame her. How do you ever get your head out of that?
Yeah.
Ever. I don't care.
That line? Right.
I don't care
the
how
thing
when
is, too,
it is.
She's every year she's now seeing kids that are older where her boy would be at that point.
And the kids that were the same age in the neighborhood as his, that's what he'd be that age
That's
now.
how big he was when he disappeared. That's how big he was last year.
And this is 6 years later now, this article. She said, quote, there's never a moment I stop believing that Jason will be coming home. That's what I keep in my mind. I expect he'll come wandering in one day.
Good Christ.
This poor woman, man. That is terrible. So now there's a break in a weird way.
Yeah.
In this case, in April 15th of 1982.
Yeah.
Okay. April 15th, 1982, on Schaefer Street, same street.
Yeah.
A 14-year-old newspaper delivery boy. Named Dale Sherman gets talked into coming into a house on that street. Okay. He's talked in. He's given hard liquor and beer.
Oh boy!
You give a 14-year-old kid some liquor and beer.
He's gonna puke everywhere.
He's gonna puke He's gonna be hammered in 10 seconds and puke everywhere. Apparently, this Dale Sherman, he goes into this house. He's giving beer and liquor, and he's a 14-year-old kid. He wants to get drunk or whatever. It's 1982.
Yeah.
Who knows? He's got Twisted Sister playing. It's having a good time. You know what I mean? I figure that's what's going on. I don't know what the hell people are playing in 82.
82, I think it was more like Rush and...
I think Twisted Sister was huge in 82.
Maybe.
Actually. I think possible. That was big.
I listened to him in 86.
Yeah, but you were way
but
behind
that was probably the
Mexico?
end of it, too.
Yeah, that was 5 years after they were popular. What the hell is wrong with you?
Sammy Hagar was out.
Jesus, Jimmy. Look, Sammy Hagar?
Yeah.
A 70-year-old man? Sammy Hagar? Who listened to Sammy Hagar?
My stepfather at the time.
There you go.
Loved that shit.
Exactly.
And I just blare. I can't.
The
I still got
your
it. No.
Big Jimmy Buffett fan,
he probably
too?
is now.
Wears Hawaiian shirts exclusively?
No, now he's a meth head. And he's got problems.
Yay.
And he bangs tweakers. He's a vile human being.
Excellent. Yeah. This is great. So this poor Dale Sherman, he's Twisted Sisters playing, and they're doing all that.
Yeah.
He passes out, Dale Sherman, because he drinks a lot and kind of nods off.
Yeah.
He wakes up to something very interesting. He wakes up to someone trying to garrote him. Okay, trying to choke him to death, basically. Yeah. So that's how he wakes up. This 14-year-old kid.
He comes to in a moment where he's supposed to be not coming to.
Yes, and he's supposed. Yeah, they figure, okay, he's passed out. I'm going to choke this kid to death now. And instead, he wakes up and starts fighting back.
Yeah,
because he's 14.
Right.
And you're 14. You got some piss and vinegar in you. So he's fighting back. He fights the guy off of him.
Wow.
Gets out of the house.
Tough kid.
I like him. Good for you, Dale Sherman. He runs out of the house. And he lives right down the street, so he manages to get home and tell his dad about this.
Uh-oh.
Now, if you're a 1982 dad, and someone says, some guy just tried to give me booze and then choke me to death, and he's right down the street, that dad's going right outside and kicking the shit out of this guy.
If not bringing a pistol.
He's going to say, he's going to go into the garage, grab a wrench, and then he's going to go over there and he's going to work you the fuck over with a tire iron. That is what's happening to you at that point.
At least fingers crossed.
Yeah.
In 82, there were dads that were just like, bullshit.
But in 82, the cops would show up and be like, "You did what to your boy? Good," and they'd kick him too. Like, good for you. You should fucking kick him. And give me that tire iron. They'd get a couple extra shots in on him.
Right.
So, I mean, this guy here, he's pissed, the father, clearly.
Yeah.
So the father, first he calls the cops, and then he calls the cops, and then he heads over to the house, too.
He says, this guy did this. I'll be over there when you get there beating the shit out of him.
I'll be there. You'll know which house it is, because it'll be the one with me dragging a guy back and forth, pummeling him with a tire iron. It'll be that house.
The guy with the tire iron's me. The guy with it against his face is him.
Yeah, you find a house like that with one guy with his arm up like He-Man saying he has the power standing on the other one's chest. That's the house.
Right.
That's all we're saying.
Fingers crossed he doesn't beat me and take that tire iron from me and start beating
I'm pretty enraged. I don't think it's going to happen,
It's not happening today.
You figure if the 14-year-old could fight this guy off with a garage, I'm fucking him up with this
tire iron.
And I'm pissed.
Right. A grown man with you tried to fuck my kid rage?
Oh, boy.
Watch out.
He comes over pissed off, knocks on the fucking door, bangs it. This guy comes out.
He answered the fucking door.
I don't know if he answered it or if he standing out in the yard going, "Come out, motherfucker!" in the middle of a small neighborhood. And everyone's like, "I better go outside, at least deny some shit or something." I don't know.
Deny some shit.
At least shrugging. I don't know what you're talking about, because this is going to go. I don't think he's leaving. He's not going to just go, "Never mind," and then leave after 2 times.
Nobody home.
He's going to keep knocking. I feel like, he's not the pizza guy. He's going to keep knocking here. So the father confronts this man and punches him. Okay?
Good.
Starts beating the shit out of him here. Now, what ends up happening is this man called the police. Sherman's dad called the police to his house, so the police show up over there.
Yeah.
The police are across the street while this is going on. Okay? Now, so...
Some Benny Hill
this
music's
is crazy.
playing.
So now the attacker, and we'll talk about who he is, his father is also there. The attacker's father pulls up, and he starts waving the cops over from across the street.
Come over here.
Come over here. This is where you want to be. This guy's beating the shit out of my son. Let's see what's going on here. The 23-year-old... There was a 23-year-old kid. That is the beatee at the point, the one who's getting beat by Sherman's father, is a kid named Michael Woodmansey.
Okay.
He is 23 years old at this point in time.
Okay.
23-year-old kid. He lives and has lived right across the street from the Foremans.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, right there on Schaefer Street. His father is a police reservist. Also, so his father was calling the cops over because he knew the guys. He's like, "Hey, come over here." Now, Woodmansey, the son, 23-year-old Michael, he's an unemployed loner. He lives with his father, and that's it. Unemployed, heavy-set, socially awkward loner who lives with his dad. He's exactly what exactly what you'd be. So the cops come over.
The kind of guy you'd picture to have a garrote ready to choke a 14-year-old. Right?
Cops come over there, and they're like, "Hey, stop beating that guy." And they're like, "This guy tried to fucking choke my 14-year-old kid. He tried to kidnap him, take him in the house." And they said, Really? Well, that's interesting. Tell you what, why don't we all go down to the station and talk about this? You're
got
beating
questions
him.
For you for assault.
We got kidnappings, assaults. Let's wrap this all up. Everybody in a room and figure this shit out.
Sort it all out somewhere else.
This is a bad episode of Cops, and I don't want to go back and forth. Back then, just everybody in one room and let's figure this shit out here. So they do that. They take Michael to the headquarters, Michael Woodmansey. He denies any wrongdoing. He said, "I didn't attack that kid. I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't try to choke him."
Yeah.
He's out of his mind.
An old man showed up at my house and started beating me. That's all I know. Right.
They don't know anything. So then one of the cops, on just a thought, just a whim, he says, 14-year-old kid, same street. I worked that Foreman case.
Yeah.
Let's ask him about that Jason Foreman and just see how he reacts to it. Because they said, "How long you lived here?" "Your whole life, huh?"
Weird.
Interesting. So you're about 16 in 1975?
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about this. You remember that kid disappearing? Because obviously everyone in the neighborhood would remember a massive nationwide search for fucking weeks at a time.
For 2 doors down.
Yeah, they do that. It doesn't take long. At first he's like, "Yeah, I don't know anything about that." After a minute, not long after, I mean, we're talking within an hour, he confesses to everything this kid. He says he sexually assaulted and killed Jason in 1975. Yeah. Now, this kid, he has no criminal record, no history of mental illness. I mean, there was no anything. So they don't know what the hell's going on with this kid. And back then they were like, this is odd.
Yeah.
Like, why? They just didn't get it. So they took him right away to the Institute of Mental Health to determine if he was out of his fucking mind or what. The Attorney General says that he will be prosecuted as an adult, Woodmansey, even though he was only 16 at the time.
Right.
People freaked the fuck out, as you can imagine, in this small town, right across the street. This guy said he disappeared, and we'll get to what happened. It's pretty rough. One of the neighbors, Caroline Ellsworth, said, quote, Michael was a loner. You never saw him with anybody but kids in the street. The kids always stopped to talk to him.
Yeah.
So he was like always cultivating these relationships with the neighborhood kids. So when he said, hey, you want to come inside for a minute? Sure, I'm not afraid of this guy. Talk to him all the time.
Yeah.
And he's a younger guy,
right.
especially in the 70s when he's 16.
Right.
5-year-old sees a 16-year-old as just like a super kid.
Right.
Like not an adult, but not a kid. Like you're an amazing super kid.
He can do everything.
And you're a kid. This is great. Like, yeah, that's how you see that.
He can reach the cereal in the top drawer.
Yeah, this is amazing. And he still goes to school.
Right.
Like, it's that sort of thing here. So, yeah, they freaked out. The woman who lived next door, Sharon Carney, as you might imagine, would be a little freaked out. She said, when I think of all the times I left my kids home alone, that bothers me. Can you imagine that? Right next door. And that didn't stop him, obviously, because Jason was across the street. At the time of the Jason's disappearance, he was a 16-year-old junior at South Kingstown High. Like we said, loner, kind of a heavy-set kid, lived with his dad, Franklin Woodmansee, on Schaefer Street. He was a police reservist, his dad, which is a big deal.
Yeah.
He's total loner, though. I mean, he had violent thoughts for some time, he said, before he committed the crime. He would tell a therapist. He would tell psychiatrists that he was thinking about what it would be like to kill someone, and he thought it would be easy to get away with it, and he thought it might be some fun.
Oh, my God. He said that it might be some fun?
He said, quote, he said, want to know what it would be like to kill someone, thought it would be easy, and he thought it would, quote, be some form of fun.
What the fuck?
He thought. Just that's his mind and his mindset.
Is
that
there
might be
some
fun.
sort of responsibility of a therapist to relay that shit to somebody?
This is later. This is the police therapist. So they're relaying everything right to the district attorney, who's then writing it all down.
That should be somebody's responsibility. You know, I thought about killing people, and it might be fun.
He said that's why he did it, because he just thought it might be fun. He thought about it for a long time. The crazy part is when they searched for the body, they searched house to house.
Yeah.
How did they not find it when they searched house to house? Well, because his father was a reservist, they told him, search your own house.
Right.
They said, go out, start with your own house. When that's done, go out.
A little light-handed.
Yep.
Maybe you could search your own for us?
Exactly. So, I mean, he probably opened the basement door, went, Jason, you down there? No, all right. He's not going to search through his son's room for a child's corpse.
Right.
He's not going to think that. So he doesn't.
Is that what he did?
So
he left it in his room?
No one searched the house. No one searched the house.
God.
The worst part is when they were telling it about it, he admits that he lured Jason into his home. Michael does, sexually assaulted him, which fucking luring and sexually assaulting a 5-year-old boy.
Disgusting.
Fucking horrific, man. Then stabbed him in the heart. After that, that's how he killed him. It gets way worse.
Okay.
He then put him in a plastic bag and hid his body in a small trunk in his room because he's a small kid.
Yeah.
And so his dad never found it up there.
Sweet fuck.
Unbelievable, man. Now, the worst part is he tells police about this. He tells them also that he fantasized about murder all the time.
Yeah.
He just thought it would be easy to get away with. He thought it'd be fun. He told them that if they search his room, this is 7 years later, they're going to find Michael.
What?
They're going to find Jason. They're going to find parts, and also they're going to find a journal.
Sweet.
With
Pete.
some very graphic things in it, descriptions. But he says that's just fiction, though. That didn't actually happen. None of that stuff. I didn't actually.
Sure.
He's telling them that journal is not real. That I made all that up.
Oh,
even though
God.
It corresponds perfectly with what happened to this kid.
Oh my God.
Unbelievable. So, yeah, it gets worse here. Oh, man. So they come in. They go to find the body, obviously, in the house. They go to find, I don't remember the body. They go to find little Jason. Right. So they go to find him, and they search his room. On his dresser, they find a black box.
Yeah.
In the black box,
What's in the box?
Yeah. They find the journal, number one. They find Jason's skull.
Cocksucker.
His skull and several other bones on the dresser.
Jesus.
The bones had all been completely cleaned and shellacked.
What?
Like at a fucking museum.
What a creep.
Clean. It's hard to clean a bone.
Real quick, the dad is a piece of shit, too.
He's a police officer.
Yeah.
Doesn't have any idea this is going on under his roof.
What a dipshit.
It's been picked clean and shellacked.
Unbelievable. He painted the fucking bones so that they wouldn't decay further.
Yeah, because they're souvenirs for him.
What an asshole.
More on that in a moment. On the shellacking here, or on the journal and on all of that here. Yeah, claims the journal's all fiction. Family freaks out, obviously. They're actually at first kind of relieved in a way, too. John Foreman, the father, said, quote, you know it was a little bit of a relief. At least I knew where he was. But my wife and I, we cried and cried. All those years our son was just across the street. Can you imagine that?
No.
Nationwide. You're thinking, where could he be? You're thinking, could he be on a cable car in San Francisco? Could he be in a fucking Mount Rushmore? Where? And he's across the street in some fat shithead's trunk, some loner asshole's trunk. Anyway, they found Schofield, the uncle. He was in Boston doing some marine thing here. He said, quote, my wife got a hold of me and she was in tears. It was a very stressful time, a very saddened time. I keep thinking about it constantly, and I have since that time. It's something you don't forget. It's something that stays with you for the rest of your life. I would say so. Now, he says Schofield gives a lot of credit to the South Kingstown Police Department for, give them credit for cracking this, but also they fucking was under their noses the whole time before. I guess they just followed procedure and whatever. But
I'm mad enough whenever I put my wallet in a place that, and it's obviously the last place I look, but it's the most fucking obvious place it would have. I should have looked for it. And I'm mad enough about that fuck, I just wasted all that time. 15 minutes looking for this goddamn thing. It's right here. This is a child, and this is years.
He talks about H. Ronald Hawksley there. Says, gives him a lot of credit because this Hawksley followed tips all over the country. This guy traveled around the country for years looking for this kid. Like, he wouldn't give up on it.
Didn't even need to fucking go to the gas pump.
No. The journal now. The journal.
Oh, Christ.
Now, the journal ends up being sealed. We never get to see exactly what's in the journal. The only people who have seen the journal, prosecutors, the homicide detectives involved in the case, the judge, and they also share what they want to know with the family. They don't give it to the family because they don't want to reveal the whole thing, but they tell them what they need to know, and they tell them certain parts of it. And it's fucking ridiculous, man. Raven, the sister, tells the story about this. She doesn't give a shit in the press. She's like, this is what's in there. People need to know it. This motherfucker's sick, and I don't care.
I like her.
I don't care. My brother's gone, so we're going to talk about this. It's not. You're not protecting anybody by not giving the details.
My brother's gone, and this fuckface wrote this.
Yes, she says, quote, Michael dismembered my brother limb from limb. Soon after, he was eating my brother's flesh. Eating my brother's flesh, like the animal he was. No, he was worse than an animal. Animals killed to eat, to suit a need. Michael killed for pure sport. Michael killed just because he could. This deranged killer murdered my baby brother, and as he watched him die, he scribbled notes in a journal. It was a how-to book on murder. He ate this child.
Wow.
He
a 16-year-old kid ate a child.
Ate a 5-year-old.
Wow.
He boiled the meat off the bones to keep the bones. It's all in his journal, and ate.
This dad is an asshole. How did he not know?
I'm disgusted.
How did he not smell it? How did he not see it? How did he not find a trace of this shit going on?
How do you?
I get like the Columbine kids.
There's so many how does in this. It's not even how does. How does are stacked to the fucking ceiling right now.
The Columbine kids built all these weapons and stuff and had a mass murder tool in their bedroom, and the parents didn't know. But you can hide that shit under a bed, and it doesn't smell like a rotting fucking corpse.
Fuck, man, it's just.
What did he have, a hot plate in his bedroom that he could boil this?
No,
he had to do that shit in the kitchen.
I assume when his dad was out for doing whatever, out at work for the day, I'll boil a child.
I feel bad for the dad because he probably feels pretty guilty.
I assume he feels horrible for it.
But he's an asshole.
But he's an asshole and he didn't pay attention to his goddamn kid. They talked about, she talks about the search went on for years. Raven says, quote, it was insanity. It's hard to explain what this did to my family. We've been torn apart.
I can't imagine.
My father became an alcoholic and my mother became depressed, and they both suffered mood swings. Can you imagine what that would do to a marriage?
The amount of drugs that I would be ingesting would be insane.
Damn, alcoholic, obviously. She talks about this. She said, quote, atop Michael's dresser was a box. Inside were my brother's shellacked bones. his arms, legs, a small jaw, a few spine and rib bones, and his skull. The bones were washed and finished for display.
That is a big box.
Michael coveted them. He treated my brother's bones like trophies. Next to the box was the disgusting journal. He in the journal he talks about he dismembered and boiled his body parts.
But it's fiction.
All fiction, even though that's exactly what he did. It's all fiction. Yeah. Wow. She said, quote, that lunatic ate my baby brother. Imagine a life trying to accept that as a fact. No. To cannibalize someone for the sake of wondering what it is like, that to me is more demented than the thought of killing someone. To this day, I have nightmares about this. I wake up screaming, and I know it's not just a dream. It's my real life. Holy fucking shit! How
do you go on?
How do we go on right now? Like, never mind. Yeah. Them too.
How do you do?
Wow.
We're faced with that conundrum, and that has nothing to do with how I'm going to pay my bills tomorrow.
I'll go home and be fine, and my kids are okay, and neither of them are in a box with their bones shellacked.
Unbelievable.
And I still feel horrible. I can't imagine what these people feel like.
Unbelievable.
All I have to say is, in a little while, you're really going to resonate with John, with the father. Yeah. We'll put it that way. He's going to say things, and you're going to go, "Yeah, exactly. Right. I agree with that. That's what I would have said. Yeah. Same shit." Like, it's weird. You always hear people react to tragedies in different ways, and you're like, "Oh, that's an interesting way to react to it." Very rarely do I hear someone react to it exactly like I would. Very rare. And this guy fucking nails it.
Okay.
Nails it.
So what do they do with this fuck then? Do they just throw him into a loony bin for now?
Let's talk about it, man.
Right.
So John Foreman said that, the police told him, he tells press that the police told him how he ate his son, and he knew that part. Now, Police Chief Vespia, he says about the acts, he told the press that the killing did, quote, include some sexual gratification, but he would not speak specifically. Obviously, the Journal in 1983, the Providence Journal, wrote this, quote, the most striking aspect of the bones, the doctor said, this was the medical examiner, was that all traces of flesh appeared to have been purposely removed. To be crude, Dr. Arthur C. Burns said it's a matter of boiling them with lye, a weak lye-type solution, and soap. The mixture, he said, dissolves the tissue and allows it to be taken off the bones very cleanly. The bones had also been shellacked. Jeez. So he went through like a process, like a I don't know, like a taxidermist or something that would do this.
He had goggles on to do this shit.
Yeah, he knew to go get lye and do it. That's insanity.
Awful.
So
at 16, how do you know that?
It's in the 70s too. It's not like he looked it up on the internet.
No doubt.
Like he Googled it. How do you take flesh off of bones? Like,
you could have been an Eagle Scout, you fuck.
Jesus Christ. So on March 24th, 1983, what they do is they plead him.
Yeah.
They don't want to have a trial.
No?
The prosecution doesn't want to have a trial.
Really?
They don't want to drag it out. They don't, because if there's a trial,
you got to put mom through that?
Every detail that happened is going to be excruciatingly gone over. Every newspaper in the country
you bet.
is going to have details of this guy eating your son.
Jesus.
So to spare the family the details and to spare everybody, honestly, too, I think it was also one of those things. It's like the public's going to freak the fuck out. Yeah, good Lord.
5 o'clock news comes on when people are eating, for Christ's sake. I can't talk about this.
So Michael pleads guilty. They get him to plead guilty because he's dead to rights on everything, to a reduced charge of second-degree murder. He's sentenced to 40 years in prison.
That's not enough.
And this is in 1983.
Okay.
The prosecutors agreed to the plea bargain, like we said, because they didn't want the journal to come out. Also, that was the main thing. Is they're very concerned about this journal coming out because this is very, very.
That's a lot.
Very graphic shit. March 6th, 1983 is they have a funeral for little Jason. This is the most heartbreak. I saw this article, man, dude. This is heartbreaking. So heartbreaking.
How do you do that? You don't. You
bury the skull and his 3 bones.
Oh, Christ.
And they did it.
And what is that? That's a place.
Jimmy, tiny white coffin. Jimmy.
No.
Yeah, tiny little. It's fucking.
What the fuck? I couldn't do it. I couldn't bury that.
No.
I would want that cremated because I don't want his artwork project buried for him to be able to visit.
Thank you. Yeah, he knows
he's only got 40 years.
Who knows? He might come dig it up someday and then play with them more. Yeah,
that.
This was the most heartbreaking
I can't
shit.
imagine.
This funeral, I was just like, oh God, this whole story was was horrible, but then this one I was like, I can't. But this is a lot.
That's too much.
With this funeral,
that's heavy.
He's buried in Riverside Cemetery, which is right across the street from the Foreman's too. I don't know if that's good or bad.
That's right around the corner from that asshole.
Yeah, they're all right there.
Guy.
Sentencing, they sentence him, like I said, 40 years on the plea deal.
Yeah.
Post-sentencing, after sentencing, Superior Court Judge Thomas H. Needham, which sounds like a judge name, ordered everyone in this name sounds exactly like, everyone in this story sounds exactly like who they are.
It's like straight out of Central Casting.
It really is, yeah. Judge Thomas
Needham.
H. Needham. He ordered the journal and all other evidence in the case to be sealed.
Yeah.
He said the accounts were too disturbing for Jason's family or the general public to see. Oh, fuck yeah, he did. He had to. Afterwards, obviously, the family's struggling with this. Super struggling with this. Raven, the sister, said that her father, John, was possessed by pent-up anger, as I don't blame him. She said, quote, he didn't talk about it, and he didn't want it talked about around him. He just didn't know how to deal with it, and so we let him not deal with it.
Yeah.
So he's just been raging for 40 years, this guy, basically, 35 years. The mother just was all about protecting children. She would be a crossing guard. She would knit mittens and hats for kids that didn't have mittens and hats.
This is a small town. If it only had one school, this little cocksucker walked past her at that crossing guard area every day.
Yeah, they all saw him every day.
What an asshole.
They lived across the street. They all knew each other.
I'm saying that guy, Michael, saw Mom and saw her grieving.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
Oh, boy, is he a piece of shit.
And that made it better for him.
You bet it did.
They're out there. They're looking. She's doing this, and I have his bones on my dresser, and they don't even know it.
I'm painting some fucking...
He get off on that shit. That's
Jesus.
the thing. He get off on that shit.
Put some Thompson's water seal on her boy's shin bone. What a cocksucker.
Raven said, quote, my mother took responsibility for those children as if one of them was her own.
Yeah.
She knew their names, their routines, who their parents were, all of their little idiosyncrasies, and which children would be lagging behind because she didn't want them to get kidnapped.
I am heartbroken.
In 2000, Joyce dies from lymphoma.
Jesus.
Sorry to laugh, but you said I am heartbroken, and I'm like, oh yeah? Well, guess what? She also has a terrible disease that she died. This lady's life was all... The first 25 years might have been fine. Last 25 years of her life, because it was 75 to 2000, 100% heartache.
Just a steaming pile of shit.
Heartache and trauma and pain.
Tragedy.
Pain.
Yeah.
So he's in jail, Woodman C. Early March of 2011, there is talk of an early release.
What?
For good time.
What?
He's earned good time, Jimmy.
Oh, what a terrible phrase that is.
The good time law, good time law,
I
we can
hate
have
that.
a good time
Right.
in Rhode Island, allows a prisoner to earn as much as 10 days off his sentence every month for good behavior.
That's an awful law.
That's a lot.
That
In
is way too
28
much
years,
time.
It's a great law if you're not violent.
Yeah, that's
It's
a great law
fine
if you're in for a fucking pound of weed.
It's a fine law if you're in for drugs
Right.
and you don't fuck up and act like a jerk off in prison and let you back out. I don't
Right.
think you should be in there anyway for
Fine.
drugs, so whatever. But for this guy,
fuck that.
you don't earn anything.
No.
You do 40 years in a day. We keep you an extra day. We tell you paperwork took a while.
If you take a slow step, you get an extra day.
We will trip you on the way out,
You're
so you'll fall
goddamn
down and we'll
right.
have to take care of you. They get month off every 10 days a month for good behavior. So it's been 28 years he was incarcerated. He had been able to earn back 12 years of good time.
Wow.
Michael. Early release law was first introduced in 1872, by the way. So this wasn't like the hippies brought this in. This was 1872.
This law that shit's outdated.
Yeah, they
strike that one and burn it.
Well, the last time they significantly changed it was in 1960 before this. So it was just sitting on the books. And we'll get to what happens with that law after this. Yeah, this causes some uproar, as you might imagine. This kid going to get out of prison?
Yeah.
You want this guy coming across the street from you?
Thank you.
Dude, I mean, people would be hunting this guy like Frankenstein. And
I would.
He deserves it. This is Frankenstein's monster, for fuck's sake. So he is transferred from the Department of Corrections facility. And he's transferred to one in Cranston, Rhode Island, which is he's housed in a special protective custody unit with other high-risk inmates.
Yeah.
He'd been in Massachusetts for the whole sentence for his own safety, because there's less publicity about it there, and not everyone wants to stab him in the face probably there, whereas he's the guy you'd kill first in prison.
Fuck yeah.
This fat fuck ate a kid?
Yeah.
I can't wait to stab him and fuck his neck hole when I'm done stabbing him in it. That's
there
what these
will be
guys
a man
doing.
with a barbell for sure.
Absolutely. Ask
him.
Dahmer.
Yeah.
This is a kind of a protective custody cafeteria. They eat together in a separate room. They have their own little courtyard they get in. These are all the people everybody wants to do bad things to because they deserve it.
A little creep parade.
Yeah, a little creep
luncheon.
parade.
Right.
Exactly. And some of them are rats, too.
Sure.
But rats and creeps. That's what if you're a rat? You didn't do anything. You just, quote, did the right thing and told them you got to hang out with this fucking guy? Jesus Christ.
That's a shit way
Thanks
to live your life.
That's terrible.
That's a reward? I get to talk to a dude that ate a 5-year-old?
He ate a kindergartner.
Right.
This is ridiculous. He wasn't even in kindergarten
He ate
yet,
a kid
or...
that had a nap time. No.
Oh, my God.
No.
Jesus Christ. They're saying they don't know what to do with him. Yeah. He's there. If they said that he hadn't made his wishes known yet of what he wants to do. Yeah. Both his parents are dead. He has no relatives in Kingstown. Yeah. So they're like, where's this kid going to go, even if we let him out? Vespia, the police chief, said, quote, I have no information that he wants to be released, and I have no information that in the unlikely event that he is released, he would want to come back to this community. So this is all very premature. I would... Shit.
You don't want to go back to that community, I'm sure.
The dad, John Foreman, he
has an idea.
Premature or not, he says, quote, I got real mad, I got angry, I got upset, I got scared. All these emotions were going through my head. I didn't know that there was such a thing called early release. Parole, yes, but not early release. Right. Now, people around it, like the sentencing judge, the Susan E. McGurl, she was a state prosecutor who agreed to the plea bargain in the first place, said that she was shocked that they were talking about releasing him. Yeah. She said, quote, certainly there would not have been any anticipation of him getting out in 28 years. Yeah. You'd think he would do the whole time. No doubt. Quote, all of those involved knew the defendant would be released at some time. We discussed with the Foreman family the defendant's possible release on parole or good time. We did not anticipate, due to the condition of the defendant, that he would be able to earn maximum good time credit. Yeah. He served 70% of his sentence. It is my understanding that he will have a 10-year suspended sentence with 10 years probation upon his release. Which doesn't matter because if he kills kids, who cares if he goes back? Police are preparing for the possibility that he might be back on the street. The Vespia said, quote, we do not know what his plans are or if he's planning on coming back, but it's definitely something we plan on discussing. I would say.
We're going to have a chat about it, for sure.
I would think so. Let's all get together
Maybe
and talk
the
about
most dangerous man that's ever been in this town might be coming back.
Let's have a powwow about this.
We'll have a talk.
So Schofield, the uncle, said, quote, it infuriates you. The man had no remorse. He never said, I'm sorry. He just shut up and stood there, and that's the sad thing. And he didn't. The town freaks the fuck out. They lose their minds. Protests happen. Yeah. I mean, there's a
town full of great people.
Facebook groups spring up immediately. Protest the release of convicted child killer Michael Woodman Z group pops up. Has 1,300 members in a day and a half.
Wow.
Even bigger group has 10,000 members. It's like an online protest.
Like, let's all rape Michael Woodsy.
Yeah, let's all do that. Woodman Z, let's rape
Woodman Z.
him or do
not
something
Michael
horrible
Woodsy.
to him.
I'm sure there's a Michael Woodsy somewhere. Let's not rape him.
Yeah. These people are pissed off. Yeah. They're all mad. They're protesting every form of protest that's possible. They're calling, emailing, doing social media, showing up with signs, yelling, screaming. Doing the whole fucking thing here. There's a state rep here who's obviously trying to make political hay on this deal, and it's the right thing to do. But they're also I'll take care of that.
I'll lead that charge.
No, I'll lead that charge. There's nobody who can say this is bad.
Pandering fuck.
This is the only politically non-political thing there is. Is we don't want a guy who ate a kid to get back out. No one wants that ever.
That's the worst, though. Still,
ACLU guys are going. No, he's good where he is. I think he's for good times. Fine. It's fine.
A politician that jumps on that bandwagon and fucking leads the charge for that is it's the equivalent of just somebody going out and being like, where's all my white women on stage? It's the most pandering shit.
And at the same time, if they didn't say that, you'd be like, hey, do your fucking job and say that. So there's really no winning for a politician in that case.
I mean, if somebody asks you, make a speech, but don't fucking lead a charge for it. I think the citizens got this one under control.
Well, she needs to help try to change a law. That's the thing. So they need her for that.
That's a difference.
She said, quote, this is a man who committed the most heinous act that's ever occurred in our area and got away with it for 7 years until he tried to do it again. Yeah. She has a 5-year-old daughter that lives like 3 blocks from where he lived while this is going on. She says, quote, crimes against children are in a category by themselves, and parents like myself look at what he did and tried to do again to another boy, and we're all asking ourselves what can be done. I assure you we are looking at every possible angle to protect our community and others from Michael Woodman Z ever being able to offend again. Yeah. The crime this man committed still haunts our community. That is so much better than, well, it's like, shoof, I don't know. That's still, I got to give her that. At least she knew what to say. the sister Raven, back with her again. She said, how can this man be let back out on the streets? What if he thinks about killing again? Yeah. Well, that's a good fucking question.
Well, he's going to.
She says, quote, with Michael, thoughts are dangerous. He doesn't see the world in the same colors as normal people. Nobody wants him on the streets, and to be honest, he won't be safe on them. My family and the whole state of Rhode Island are rallying to keep this maniac behind bars, but legally, there's little we can do.
Yeah.
She publicly calls for the journal to be released, so just let everyone know what they're dealing with.
Yeah.
She said that it's so graphic and gruesome that they worried that she said, quote, what's in there are, quote, so graphic, so gruesome that authorities worried that if the wrong type of people got a hold of it, you'd end up with some Charles Manson type cult following.
Holy
the journal
shit.
states that there was a sexual component of what he did to my brother. People need to know what he's really done.
Jesus.
So, yeah, they do need to know that so they can be pissed off.
Yeah.
Police Vespia here said, quote, I will not tell you what was in it, but I will tell you that it was a horrible, horrible crime, among the most gruesome investigations I've ever participated in, and I've been around the block a few times.
Yeah.
If you freak out an old cop, that's some shit.
Yeah.
Because they've seen it all.
Yeah.
Uncle Peter Schofield's back again. He says, quote, they say time heals all wounds, but never completely, and it doesn't take much to open up that wound.
Yeah.
The father...
Not this wound.
This one
never heals.
The father has a different approach,
Yeah.
and
after a little bit of some dickle, he's ready to talk.
Love this man. This is everybody's spirit animal here. We're all going to live through this guy. John gets on the radio, WPRO AM radio in March of 2011 while this is going on, and he says, quote, I do intend, if this man is released anywhere in my vicinity, or if I can find him after the fact, I do intend to kill this man as aggressively and painfully as he killed my son.
My man.
Fuck yeah, John. That's my man right. That's the reaction I want out, because I would be
telling
like,
everybody.
Yeah, go ahead, let him out. I will hunt him down and
I'll
fucking
be
kill
there.
him. So that's fine. You do that and find a jury that'll convict me
I'll
for it.
follow the bus that he's on.
Find a jury in this town that'll convict me for it. Good luck. They all searched for my kid too. This fucking guy deserves it. He
in
says,
the fucking rain.
Yeah, he says, quote, I cannot think, I cannot sleep. All I think about is trying to find a way to get this man to kill him. That's what he thinks about. That's what's still on his mind, I'm sure. If he gets out, he's going to do it again.
I love him.
I love this man.
Did you see the video of the guy that killed the pedophile in the airport?
Yeah.
That's exactly what you're supposed to do.
Well, you don't get a more justified I want revenge than he kidnapped my child and ate him. That's
not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to call the police. But
he did.
In the event that it doesn't, the justice is
him
unserved.
Out.
Yeah,
they're letting him out.
In the event the justice is unserved, it's your duty as a parent.
He didn't say I'm trying to break into the prison to stab him in the face. He said if they let him out,
you let him out legally and
I'm
make him
out
a
here
free
too.
Man.
If we're both free, he's dead.
He's dead.
That's all I'm saying.
For sure.
Which I can't blame the fucking guy. He said that
you'll hear him scream, but he'll be dead.
He said that he blamed himself for accepting a plea deal that saw him, just a second degree. He said that his decision to accept the deal had been spineless. Now he's just hurting himself.
Yeah.
He said, quote, I've got to blame myself for that, allowing him to be released early to become a predator to someone else. I'm going to blame for all that, and I'm going to make that right. Jesus. So he's saying, if he gets out, it's my fault, so I got to kill him.
It's
so he doesn't
on
do
me,
it again.
guys.
That's just funny. I don't want him hurting anybody else.
Right.
He says that his son was such a nice kid. He was a well-behaved, smart kid. He was intelligent for his age. He said he had hopes and dreams for him. I know he was going to be somebody. I had really high hopes for this young boy. He also thanked the people who've supported him on there. They've given the family lots of support. And he said, quote, I'm going to return their thanks by getting rid of this beast. That's what he said. I love this man.
He's just telling everybody. He'll tell everybody that'll listen, I'm going to kill him.
He's on the radio. He's literally broadcasting it to everyone within the sound of his voice. People of Rhode Island, when I see him, I will murder him.
Good
murder.
morning, Rhode Island.
South Kingstown. Oh, we got murder in the air today. Let's get John Foreman, the murder man. Oh, he's going to murder.
Here on 98.3, I'm here. I'm John Foreman. I'm going to kill today.
I am going to kill like a bastard.
It's going to be crazy.
Going to hunt him down as soon as he gets out of the prison. Going to hide in the tree. Going to hit him in the leg with a sniper rifle shot. Come up and tear him limb from limb with the bare hands.
I'm going to gut a man.
Yeah. All right.
John Foreman. Here's John Fogerty.
I was going to say, time is 9:24, 68 degrees, and here is John Fogerty.
Light traffic on the turnpike.
So, Prosecutors and prison officials and families and everyone with a shred of sense of fucking smartness on the face of the planet is trying to get him involuntarily committed if he's granted release.
Yeah.
Like, can we put him away?
Yeah.
We can't let him out on the streets. So what they did is they handed to the board who decides this shit if they can involuntarily commit him. They said, well, here's this journal. You might want to take a read. Take a little gander at this.
Have you read Harry Potter? I'm going to give you another read.
Yeah, so they read that.
Like Oprah's book club.
Oprah would not like this book. The police chief, again, Vespia, said, quote, it is a booklet, several pages in length. It's written in paragraph form. I will not tell you what was in it, but I will tell you that it was a horrible, horrible crime, and that's a gruesome thing. He said, quote, this is a great one, too, here. He says, the police chief says, quote, I have taken the position that he is not welcomed in this community and that as a resident and the police chief, I don't think it would be safe or prudent for him to be here.
I like it.
He will be lynched and I'm not going to protect him, is what he just said. Don't care. He said there's a major concern, obviously, for his release. Hundreds of people were gathering and demonstrating every day. They're against not only the law of the good time release, but him also being released. They said he only committed one small infraction in 28 years in prison. That's how he got all that time. Yeah, because he's just sat there. Yeah. Nobody to eat, I guess.
Right. He also did the same thing all for 28 years that he did the day that he was arrested.
Yeah.
He just sat there with a dumb look on his face.
That's what it is. Now, psychiatrists, in order to do this, it's not easy to do this, to involuntarily commit somebody. Yeah. It's hard to do.
It's a chore.
You got to eat a kid or something. It's crazy. What more fucking crazy thing can you do? You ate a kid. I get it's hard to commit someone, but
then you wrote a short story about it.
There's no more extreme than that. You can't just be like, well, he keeps stealing things or he won't stop doing drugs. He ate a child.
He literally raped and then ate a child.
Done at that point here. In order to make the determination, the psychiatrist must certify that he would benefit from the care and that the treatment of a mental health facility, and that if left unsupervised, he could do serious harm to himself or others. I think we can. Got that one covered.
Checked all those down the board. What else you got?
Yeah, it's an involuntary commitment assessment. They said it only happened one other time in the state. So it's not. This is not a thing here. So this doesn't happen often. In trying to involuntarily commit a guy after prison here. His lawyer, Michael's lawyer, said about the committal, he said, quote, it's a high bar in Rhode Island. 2 psychiatrists must present certificates and opinions stating that the individual has a mental disability, is in need of care and treatment in a facility, would likely benefit from the care and treatment, and that their presence in the community unsupervised would create a serious likelihood of harm to self or others by reason of mental disability. This is a very specific thing they have to do too. Even if two psychiatrists agree that he poses a danger, a judge also has to sign off on the commitment every 6 months.
Can we find that other judge?
So it has to be brought up every 6 months, which shouldn't be a problem, I wouldn't imagine here.
This one again? Yeah. Keep him in there.
Yeah, Chief Vespia said he gave these psychiatrists this journal also. He said everyone who needs it is getting this journal here. Yeah. He said, quote, I received the court order last Friday to make the document available to the Department of Corrections, who will provide it to psychiatrists who may see him. It was hand-delivered Monday. I did talk to Corrections legal counsel, who said once received, the only person who would open it is the psychiatrist. Other prison officials would not. Okay. So that's how, secretive they are with this whole thing, because they don't want screenshots ending up on the internet, because that would be kind of a big deal.
That would be horrible.
The family lawyer for the Foremans said that despite that on the show, John said he wants the journal to be released to the public. His lawyer said that he doesn't think that it should be made public at all. He said, because they said a lot of people would want to kill this kid after that. He said he just said that because he was upset. He said, quote, it was a period of time when John had not had a lot of opportunity to digest what was going on. I would say not. He was pissed off. That's all it was.
There's not enough time to digest that.
Yeah. Now, about this possible release, Uncle Peter said, quote, since we've heard the news, it's been a stressful time. We haven't been able to sleep, trying to run damage control on people claiming to say, quote, I knew Jason in kindergarten. He never went to kindergarten. People need to realize you're not in it if you're not in it for the glory. When we had the funeral for Jason, half the town turned out. That's great support, but these people claiming to do all these things, it doesn't help. It just makes everything worse. So he's... Jesus Christ, he's saying this is fucking ridiculous.
People are claiming they knew the boy.
They're trying
for
fame by it. Oh, I went to kindergarten with him, I know this, and that's what it is, man. It's
That's disgusting.
Yeah. He also said that the early release doesn't make sense. He said, quote, I'm infuriated that they come up with this good time days. Truthfully, how do I feel? Would you let Hannibal Lecter out of jail? Would you like to see Charles Manson around again? Would you feel comfortable having Jeffrey Dahmer, this type of sick individual, on the loose again? No, nobody would.
No.
Yeah, I agree with that. He also says that even if they let him out, it's not going to be great for him. He said, quote, I don't know how he's going to survive once he gets out into the community. Technology has evolved. It's on everybody's mind. I would think that some people have compassion and would say he should go about and live. I just hope he's smart enough to realize it. I hope people don't take me out of context here. I've tried to be a fair person, but he's created a lot of harm to my family, and I have a lot of ill feeling about him. Personally, I don't know what I'd do if I saw him, which is way fairer than I would be.
Yeah.
Now, the father, John, they said, do you regret what you said on the radio now that you've had some time to think about it?
Fuck no.
He said, well, quote, that's not the right way to go, but I would probably do it just the same. There are no words for him. He's like, yeah, I thought about it. It's wrong, but I'd still kill him anyway. I just have to.
I probably shouldn't have said it, but I'm going to do it.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts, man. This whole thing is so crazy. At this time, too, there is legislation quickly being drafted to change the early release statute so it would not cover, killers like this asshole, like
not just
extreme
killers,
cases,
fucking
violent
the
people.
worst.
They can pick and choose. Do we want these people to be that? So it's that sort of thing here. He says that John can't imagine the guy coming back, and I don't blame him. He said, quote, over the years I blocked out all the memories of what happened to Jason. The tragic end to his life is just too painful to think about. I have been able to visit Jason and his mother Joyce at their gravesite with only love in my heart for them, but now I'm afraid to visit now that this terrible memories are back to haunt me and my family. There's no forgiveness in me, only revenge.
No doubt.
This sounds like a fucking movie.
Yeah.
This guy sounds like a character in a movie that
sounds
said
like Liam Neeson.
It's like a Van Damme movie, and they killed my family. Now there's no forgiveness left in me, only revenge. And then he goes out and kills everybody.
Everybody dies.
It's like the Kaiser Soze story. Like, oh, there is no forgiveness, only revenge.
The crazy part I was just thinking about, if he was 16 when he killed Jason, when he was 23 and he kidnapped a 14-year-old, that kid was like 7 when Jason was. So he's like trying to wipe out all the kids that are like around the same age.
Yeah, and not only that, what did he do in between? Do you think he sat quiet for that long?
No way.
I think he just didn't touch.
No way.
He had that, and then he's like, I'll wait 8 years to do this again.
No.
I don't think so, personally. I'd look around a little more.
Yeah.
One of the protesters is saying, I think it's terrifying, particularly since he's only 52 years old. That's a very young age. He's still a danger.
Yeah.
Someone doesn't acquire a taste for such horrific action, and then it just disappears because he went to jail. So I think he will hurt people again.
And that's not your first when you're that meticulous with that kid.
Fuck no.
No way.
That is way too...
That's too fucking advanced and too
he knew
well
exactly
done.
what he wanted to do.
Right.
Dahmer, who was the king of that shit, it took him so long.
years.
It took him so long to figure out that's his thing, and then he wanted to get this. Like this kid had a plan.
All of a sudden, he knows how to
get the lie, fucking get the shellac out.
He knows how to shellac a fucking bone.
Jesus Christ, that's crazy. Also, they're thinking maybe they can get him, even though he wasn't convicted of a sex crime, maybe they can get him on the sex offender registry.
Nice.
So that way they can keep track of him better. That's a thing here. We know, one of the lawmakers said, quote, we will know his whereabouts and
there's that.
And his neighbors will be aware of where he is.
Right.
That's true. But legally wise, you can't do that. It's ex post facto. You can't make a law for something that already happened.
Right.
They're saying, like, what's he going to do? They said, like, but everyone's like, if he does get out, he's getting the fuck out of Rhode Island. They're like, well, how? He can't just leave. He's going to be on probation for 22 years. He's going to have to report daily to a probation officer. He'd have to get, and if he wanted to move, he would have to get another state to agree to take him.
Right.
Do you think there's a state in the union that's going to agree to take this guy?
Not if they've got 5-year-olds.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. I think that would look bad on a commercial for any politician against them. He let a 5-year-old eater into our state voluntarily. That's what they said too. One of the spokesmen for South Kingstown said, quote, this is not going to happen. I can't imagine a state in the country that would take him.
No.
So he will return to Rhode Island. So they make the new legislation here. The Senate passes a version of the bill that would eliminate good time for certain crimes. That's how they did it. They parsed it out like that.
Tiered it.
The Foremans have been big on this, pushing for this legislation.
Good.
They said, quote, it's been very difficult, they said about them, it's been very difficult for them. Time has lessened the loss of his son a little bit, but it's this has pushed it back to the forefront for them, and they struggle with that. They are not where they were before this whole thing happened.
No doubt.
No shit. They also say that, the good time law has its purpose, but it goes too far when it allows those who've committed,
horrible thing.
Cannibalism
like
to go free after 28 years. That's insanity. And one of the board members has a very salient point here. They say, quote, "We have created a scenario where it's hard to imagine how he could find a place to live, how he could find a job, how he could have a life that even begin to resemble something like normal functioning." And that's putting aside the fact that there are lots of people out there threatening his well-being. Yeah. It's hard to imagine how this can play out very well. No shit. Nothing about this is going to be good. Right. It's never going to work out. Everyone wants him dead.
Manager of a Dunkin' Donuts, apparently.
Apparently so, yeah. So I feel like somebody would come and choke him to death with donuts. They just shove a dozen down his fucking fat gullet until he dies. John goes on Good Morning America during this time.
My man, he went to the big stage.
He goes on, he's on Good Morning America, and he says, quote, "Stay out of my way," he tells the kid, because they're like, what would you tell this Woodmansee kid if he gets out of jail? Right. And he said, quote, "Stay out of my way. I want to kill him the same way he killed my son. I can't get it off my mind." National television, he said this.
Telling everybody, I'm going to eat him.
National television. I can't get it off my mind. I want to kill so badly, and I don't blame him.
I feel like it would be fun.
I feel like we should let this guy fucking kill this guy. I really do. His son, John IV, here said, quote, that don't think he's not capable of it. He said, quote, "Push comes to shove, I've seen him do things other people can't do. If he doesn't do it, somebody will." Jesus Christ. Okay. His wife now, Debbie, he's got a new wife, Debbie, after Joyce died, said, quote, "I don't know whether John will snap. I don't actually know. I am very worried." I would say so.
I have no idea when he's going to do it.
And John's
going to do it.
John just says, "I'm willing to stop him or whatever it takes."
I like him.
I like him a lot. Right. April 8th, 2011, they had a Protecting Children rally. Yeah. They had a big deal to keep him in there. Sure. The whole deal, people with signs, Jason Foreman, or no early release. The whole deal. There's people, all the politicians are there, the governor's there, of course. And listen to this political horseshit that this guy goes. "It's an injustice to the children of Rhode Island that someone who committed this kind of crime should get out for good behavior. Evil must be stopped. Instead of taxing the people of Rhode Island, start protecting the children of Rhode Island." This not the same thing.
No.
Not the same thing.
How about you don't?
The tax rate in 2011 and a child being taken from across the street in 1975 don't go together.
They don't cross
They don't fucking go together. So that's you're at a protest to protect a child's memory and you bring taxes up in it. The fuck out of here with that shit.
That's somebody that has some back taxes unpaid.
Yeah, exactly. They're pissed off about it here. They talk about the Attorney General of the state said that this could spark his release could spark a perception of lawlessness. They let a kid out who eats a kid, and then he's mauled by the people. Right. That's kind of lawless. Yeah,
but it's. That's a bit extreme on the spectrum, though, because it's not lawlessness just all over. It's just one dude's going to die.
No, it's true. It's true. That's a good point here. They said, Foreman said, quote, "Justice was not served properly 28 years ago, and I hope justice is served properly now. Mm-hmm. Our worlds were destroyed, and I hope other families don't have to go through what we did to learn from what this grief feels like." He said that children can no longer play like they could play years ago. He says, "Michael Woodmansee is a child killer. It's in his DNA. He will do it again." Yeah. June 1st, 2011, the Department of Corrections Psychiatrist Board here that they have to go see confirmed that Woodmansee met the criteria to be involuntarily committed to an institution after his release.
Right.
Woodmansee, on advice of his attorney, agreed to the voluntary commitment.
Wow. Saving his own life.
Eleanor Slater Hospital in Cranston. Yeah, he said to him, "What are you going to do?
Right.
You're going to go out, they're going to kill you." And this guy is literally saying, "I can't wait to kill you." Right. And there's a bunch of other people that'll help him.
For it. Right.
Yeah, 100 people could watch him do it, and they'll go, "I didn't see a fucking thing.
See shit.
I would stay here if I were you. It's better off." Michael said here, the actual quote from Woodmansee, he said, quote, "Two psychiatrists who recently evaluated me found me to be a candidate for civil commitment. I've decided to seek voluntary civil commitment."
Voluntary now.
Voluntary. Now it's voluntary, even though everyone wants it. Right. Now, should he change his mind and want to leave, because you never know, he must file a notice of intent to leave, and there has to be a court hearing before that. Okay. And also, every 6 months, he has to undergo a court-supervised review even after that. Now, September 11th, 2011, 53-year-old Michael Woodmansee, after serving just less than 29 years of his sentence, is released from prison in Cranston.
The state spokesman said that they transferred him from the correctional facility to the Eleanor Slater Hospital at about 5 a.m. You want to do that shit early before anybody gets out there. They said it took place, quote, under tight security and without incident. They brought him out like with a vest on, like they have to.
Everybody had a picture. Everybody that security had a picture of the dad.
Watch this guy, or just let this guy through.
Right.
Let him through.
This is the only
He's
one that's allowed.
Everybody take 3 steps back if this guy comes running through. Just whoop. October 2012. He wants to vote now.
What?
He wants to vote.
No.
Now I will say this. I am for felons regaining their right to vote. I'm for that. Fuck yeah, I am. Every scumbag. You know how many people I know are complete assholes? Fuck, some guy who got busted for weed can't vote now? What am I fucking... If you have any interest enough in the process to actually go vote, fucking do it.
Do it,
Great. Good for you. Except if you eat kids.
Yeah.
I don't want to know... You don't have a say.
No.
I don't want your opinion. What if that one vote... you don't get to make that choice.
Also, I don't want to know where he votes. I don't want to know. I don't want to know what he votes.
What if we voted for the same thing? Yeah. What if I agree with this guy? I don't want to have a political conversation.
I don't want to have any agreement with him.
I know.
Right.
So in Rhode Island, they can regain their voting rights upon release from prison, which he was released from prison.
Except for.
It's crazy, man. You have to this in 2006. They changed it from having to complete parole and probation before regaining the right to just being released from prison.
Okay,
but they challenge this asshole's right to vote. The board of canvassers, the Cranston board of canvassers. Listen to this shit. They have to let this through. And they don't. They unanimously refused an absentee ballot request for him for the election. They tried to block 2 other ballot requests from convicted killers in 2010, but they ended up being submitted eventually. But this person, they said no, they won't do it. In the end, after all this is over, he ends up withdrawing the request because it causes a huge thing. 2 of the 3 board, there's a 3-member board. 2 of the 3 people must sign off on the request. All 3 members refused his request, and if they reject a valid ballot, they face legal action for not complying with state law. It's like the lady who wouldn't sign gay marriage licenses. It's the same thing.
So what they do with them?
So what they did is board chairman Joseph DiLorenzo and a member Robert Muxian chose to resign from the board rather than sign the request or face charges.
Amazing.
Yep. He resigned one of them resigned hours before the Friday deadline, and then the other one opted to skip out on the vote by staying away from City Hall and discussing his legal options with his attorneys. They quit rather than sign off on this guy's thing. Like, fuck that guy. Yeah. Someone else will do it, but it's not going to be me.
How about that? This scumbag is affecting people's jobs now.
Yeah,
that's fucked up.
It's goddamn insanity, man. But it is what it is.
How as a fucking voting clerk, what are they called? I don't know what they're called. But as that person,
state board,
whatever they are, how do you go to work one morning and a fucking guy that ate a kid that is so far out of your world, so far out of your world, and now he's affecting your life?
Yeah,
what a cocksucker!
Not only is he affecting your life and your job, he also wants to vote to affect laws too. No, we're not doing this. Now, 2017, the Joint Commission, which is they accredit thousands of hospitals around the country every 3 years, they issued a preliminary denial of accreditation for Eleanor Slater Hospital, where he is. They learned the state had submitted a 60-day action plan to fix the issues and retain accreditation. They said that the main issue is a ligature risk, meaning that there are too many possible opportunities for suicide and patients hurting themselves, such as improper door hinges, shower rods, bed frames, TV mounts on the wall, and things that are considered possible hanging sources.
So they don't want him in there.
I was going to say, this is great. Yeah. I would send him in just a room full of rope and knives and broken glass and razor blades and poison and cyanide and just let him sit in it. Yeah. He said this Rebecca Boss, who's the director of the Department of Behavioral Health Care, Developmental Disabilities and Hospitals, said, quote, "The majority of concerns have to do with the environment of care, and the truth of the matter is that we have a psychiatric hospital that are in aging facilities in this state, and we've known this, and we've been working toward finding better facilities." So this guy's in a fucking place where he might be able to hang himself. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed he pulls it off. Yeah. Let's just say that here. They also said there hasn't been any suicides in recent memory, but
in recent memory.
Yeah. Now, here's my question after all this. What happened to David Lewison?
Yeah.
What happened to that kid?
Why didn't they come back with that?
Never came back. They never figured it out.
Never gave a shit.
Never gave a shit. They never could tie it. That kid's disappeared. That kid's name disappeared. 5-year-old, exactly 11 months to the day before that. 5-year-old near town.
Nobody says anything.
Exact same thing. Disappears. Not a goddamn word.
Fuck?
Don't know what happened to him. How many more?
Yeah.
How many fucking kids did this guy kill?
It has to be more.
How many kids did he take? Especially 16. He lived across the street. He couldn't do anything. What happened once he got his driver's license?
Yeah.
What happened after? Because that was 16.
He could leave.
What happened when he was 17, 18, 19, 20, when he could go out and just do whatever and leave a kid in a swamp somewhere? What the fuck? This is a monster.
And there's no way he didn't. No way that was the first time. No way.
No way that was the first time, and no way the one he got caught for at the end was the
last.
Was the first time he done it since then.
No.
There's a lot more out there, and we'll never fucking know.
Never.
We'll never know.
Because he wants out.
The other thing, he wants out. Well, here's my thing that I think. I think personally that journal is sealed because the journal tells of other crimes that he committed that they don't want to even fucking get into.
Right.
They don't want to get into it. They have no body for it. They don't know how to do it. Whatever. Now that would suck. That's a really big conspiracy theory because you think they'd want to at least give the parents closure of this. But I mean, if he didn't know the kids' names, if he was, who knows, man? Who knows? That journal is probably one of the more disturbing items there are.
Anything ever.
So we don't know. Joyce and Jason are both buried together at Riverside Cemetery right in the neighborhood there. At least they're together, I guess.
Poor Joyce.
One more thing here. And we do this on Crime and Sports where we're like, I feel bad for all this, but I feel bad most of all for this person who has the same fucking name as a horrible person but isn't them. But if you Google search them, this is what you find.
Oh, my God.
So I found a couple of Michael Woodmanseys.
Oh, no.
And I'm just going to say them, so please don't take it out on these people.
No.
They are not a child eater killer person.
They just happen to share his fucking name?
Michael Woodmansee, a CPA from Oregon, Eugene, Oregon.
Guy.
Guys, if you have any tax issues, anything that needs accounting.
Oh, shit, it's tax time.
Go to
give
this
him
guy.
some business.
Michael Woodmansee from Eugene, Oregon. He will not eat your 5-year-old, I promise. I swear to God. And finally, also, too, there's a Michael who does recruiting and that sort of thing in the oil and energy field in Houston, Texas. Don't be afraid if he recruits you. 99% sure he will not eat your flesh. Just a thought. I can't guarantee it, but
so
99%
far, we haven't
sure.
heard anything.
Haven't heard anything out of him. That would be a huge coincidence if 2 guys named Michael Woodmansee were cannibals. So I would trust those guys more than anybody. So he has no taste for your flesh, I promise.
Oh, Christ.
That is South Kingstown, Rhode Island. That is one of the more fucked up tales we've covered so far, huh? I had this one locked and loaded for a while here.
To wrap up the
continental
mainland,
United States.
Oh, my God, with that story.
With that. So,
it's fucking rivals Barbaroo.
It's
Baraboo,
tough.
whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah, this to me was very Raymond Mata, like the Nebraska,
that too,
Scottsbluff with the toddler flesh in the fridge.
Much.
This is insanity, man. This was a crazy story for me because of the fact that he almost got out.
Yeah.
We almost let this guy out.
At least Raymond Mata had a personal connection to that kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He was doing that as a revenge or something. Yeah, this
has nothing.
This is a sick person who would have done this for the rest of his life.
And he
would have been Jeffrey Dahmer.
He did it for his rest of his life.
He would have been Jeffrey Dahmer.
Fuck
absolutely.
This guy.
He was killing and eating kids. Yeah. And the kid, how Jeffrey Dahmer parallel is it where a 14-year-old kid who was being choked to death runs out of the fucking house?
No doubt.
That's what happened to Dahmer.
That's
the only
crazy.
difference is that kid didn't have a dad who would come over and beat the shit out of him and call the cops.
That guy had 2 cops that returned him to him.
Exactly. It's different. If that guy had a dad in the neighborhood, this wouldn't have happened. If you like that story, you sick bastards, we love you for it. Couldn't love you more for that. What you can do to tell us all about that is please get on iTunes. Give us 5 stars. It doesn't matter what you say. It's not for our egos.
Yeah.
It is just for the business end of things. It's really, really helpful. iTunes and their damn funky algorithm.
You betcha.
You can go to crimeinsports.threadless.com to get all of your merchandise needs. Check it out. We have all logos and sayings and all sorts of cool stuff. Stuff you wouldn't think that we have.
Right.
We have. You can get a bath mat or a shower curtain that says, "You, sir, may fuck off" on it.
That's so funny.
It's all there. So go there, do that. Also, live shows. February the 18th, if there's a couple tickets, or February 16th, a couple tickets left, I think, for the live podcast with Dan Cummins there in Detroit. But February the 18th in Boston, 1 p.m. at Laugh Boston is the live crime and sports show, or live small town murder show. 4 p.m. is the live crime and sports show. These are not stand-up shows. No. This is the podcast live, just like this, but in front of you.
You bet.
If you need to do even more than that, if you're a spectacular person like some of these people that we are going to talk about that are our heroes, goddammit, they keep this train moving along, you can go to patreon.com/crimeinsports. You can make a donation there, or you can make a one-time donation that we appreciate more than you could even imagine over at PayPal using our email address, crimeinsports@gmail.com. You can get a hold of us using that email address, crimeinsports@gmail.com, or by going to @MurderSmall on Twitter, Small Town Pod on Facebook.
Yes.
Follow us, do all of that. We put all our information out. But never mind that. Jimmy, why don't you tell us about all of these spectacularly wonderful, heroic, super people that we have for you today. Hit us with that list, Jimmy.
Our executive producers every week, it seems like, happen to be Chrissy Ann Castaldi and Jess Landgren. Thank you both very much.
Thank you, guys,
for everything you do for us. We can't thank you enough. A.R. Muir, M-U-I-R. That's a
Muir.
It fucking ruins me.
Muir,
I'm not sure. Madoc Matthews, Lisa Warren, Jolie Vrabel, who I pray to Christ is the wife or sister of Mike. I
was going to say, Mike Vrabel?
I want her to be related to him.
Because I've never heard the word. I've never heard
Vrabel ever, other than Jolie
Vrabel
and the linebacker. I want them to be related for sure. Jared Crooks, Jillian Shannon, Sabrina McGill, David Yaku.
Bless you.
You betcha. Louise, Deidre, she doesn't have a last name, Louise. It's just Madonna's sister, Louise. I'm not sure. Deidre Easter, or Deidre? Deidre.
Let's go
Easter.
Deidre.
Yeah. Jordan Roherty, Tyler Frazier, Joseph Trumbauer, that's for sure. Jasmine Veal.
You got that right.
Anthony Perez, Ricky Dixon. That is a tough name.
Yeah, Ricky Dixon sounds like a linebacker.
I'm pretty sure that's a woman as well, because it's 2 Ks and an I.
Sweet.
In Ricky.
Ricky, you bad.
Appreciate you, Ricky.
You bad, Ricky.
Nicole Rose, Benito Martinez, Christina Hambleton, Sanga Robertson Alberton. That's a good one.
Oh, wow.
She's
that's
a
name right there.
I believe, Sanga.
Is she? Good for her.
Thank you, Sanga.
Hey, good luck.
Bolt Speedman Jr. I like that one a lot. That's
Bolt
a good
Speed,
one.
Just names, just words. Bolt
You
Speed
better be
Man.
a runner, motherfucker. Or a driver or something.
Or that's a superhero. One of the three.
Or a fucking cartoon character. Crystal Gennaro, Jessica Brittain, Connie and Sean Young. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Laura Castorena, Andriana. That's it. Adriana.
There we go.
Adriana or Adrina.
That's the one.
I don't know. Lipparelli.
Something like that.
Adriana Lipparelli, I'm sure. Scott Harrigan with a K. I've never seen Scott spelled with a K ever, and it threw me. I was like, Scout?
What the
Me Scott, that's got to be Scott, right? S-K-O-T?
I would think so.
Or Scout. I'm not sure.
Shit.
I don't know.
Skip spelled wrong? What is he doing?
Amy Pohanic in Denver sent us a Keon Clark picture
That's
today.
Amazing,
Thank you, Amy.
by the way.
I appreciate it. Biggest Dickus. Nope. That's not a real name.
No,
that is not a real name.
No
but
one's
I
mother
really
named
like
them
what
that.
you're doing, Biggest. That's fantastic. And if it is your real name, that is fucking brutal. And you've gone through it. I'm sorry.
You poor bastard.
Hannah Risley, Matthew Vandeford, Daniel Martin, Colleen McDonough. There's no.
You really?
I'm being very specific with that.
You really
McDonough.
Hone in on that.
I'm trying. Or McDonough?
McDonough. That's probably what it is.
You're right.
Yeah.
That's absolutely
It's
it.
McDonough.
Amanda DeLong, Donald S. Trumpkins. That's not real. No way that's real, right?
No.
Donald S. Trumpkins?
I would say no.
No.
I'm going to go with no on that one.
Sammy Curtis, Aaron Sayer, Michelle Gerber Anderson, Heidi Nico, Scott Unruh. UNRUH. Have we done that before?
I think it's Unruh.
Probably. I don't know. Victoria Steen, Christina Rush. No, Christine Rush. Sorry, Christine. Robin Francis, Zach Oberg, and his pup Lundy. They are fantastic, by the way, and that dog is fucking amazing.
Sweet.
Xander Myers, Greg Nelly, Pamela Swan. No, Sloan. That, by the way, Pamela Sloan is the original Pamela.
That's Pamela?
Yeah.
Hi, Pamela.
Thank you, Pamela.
Thank you, Pamela. Make everyone call you Pamela now, please. No, it's not Pamela. It's Pamela. Thank you.
Tamara Strumminger, Mary Faust. She donated twice. Thank you, Mary.
Thanks, Mary.
Lindsay Lowe, Marinda Lynch. Genevieve Lynch, which, 2 Lynches in a row. I'm not sure why that's probably just a coincidence.
Common
but
name.
Seeing a Genevieve Lynch donate to us feels great because there is a woman named Genevieve that I love. Allison Barnett, Mariella Rosas, Molly Kaiser, Molly Kaiser, that's it. Jennifer Provan, Madeline Lambert, Lambelet. God damn it. I was going to try to blaze through them. Tom Blake, Dawn Halloways, Elizabeth Vetney, Elizabeth Vetney, Ben Medlin, Tracy Daminato, Anthony Kaiser, Marjolaine Spitzy, Guy Rilelli. No, Guy Riel. Fuck. Rilu.
Hey.
That's a U, not 2 L's. Fiona Bell, Karis Hunt, Melissa Allen, so thoughtful. Thank you so much, Melissa. Sonia Petrashik. That's yeah, I'm not sure. Thank you both. You both were very sweet of you. Thank you. Maria Ruiz. Not what the fuck? Maria Ruiz.
Maria into Mariah?
I don't know. Tony Clementi. Is that real? Tony Clementi? Wasn't that a baseball player?
That's Roberto Clemente you're thinking
right.
of. Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing. Kelly McLaughlin, thank you so much, Kelly. That was very nice of you. Ted Cyrus, Janet Home, Optocynicism blog. I don't know.
Check
Find
it
the
out.
Optocynicism blog and read that and find out if it's really great. I'm sure it is. Fallon Ray Art. She makes art, I imagine, Fallon Ray. So find her as well. Emmy Dumont Gauthier. Faith Shiravalo. Faith
Shivarillo?
Yep. Chiaravalo. Kara Flack. Thank you, Kara, for having an easy name. Anthony Collier, James Cook, Mary Tozan, Stacy Huffaker. Again,
oh, yeah,
you're so
they're
sweet,
awesome.
Steve.
Yeah, those are awesome.
We get
Thank
them
you.
now, and they're so funny. Kathleen Thill, super involved lately.
Oh, she's great.
She
Thank
donated
you.
twice
Yeah,
also
thanks
this week.
a lot.
Thank you,
really
Kathleen.
Cool.
Josh
she sent
Cole.
Twix to Sarah, too.
Yeah, she did.
Great. Thank you.
She's fantastic. Benito Martinez, I think I said that one twice, too. I don't know. It's an ethnic name, and I'm not good at this. You're very lucky
Andrew
I pronounced
Jackson
that
over
right.
here, yeah. It's not going to pronounce
Seth
it right.
Kuehl. Michelle Jolly
He refuses
is
to read the name of an Asian, by the way. Just refuses, flat out. If he sees like Ron Kim, he's not reading that fucking
it's not
name.
coming through.
He's like,
Sorry for you.
Sorry, Pacific Rim. We'll take your money, but we're not fucking reading shit.
Michelle Jolly in Australia, thank you so much.
Thanks.
Clifford Paquette, Candace Horner, Kat Oyala over in she's
the best.
terrific.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kat. Hannah Higgins, Catherine Earl Mahoney, thank you so much. That was very nice. Pauline Kyriakos, Nason, what? That's Nicole Jason. What am I doing? Matthew Vanderford, Amanda Hostland, thank you so much. Julia Wheeling, Talioza Stevens, is that what I did there? I don't know what I did. I wrote that. It's a C. Talicza. I dare you. Taliza, is that it? I don't know. Ted Ninkovich, Tamisha DeRico, Jedediah Suntimer, Jordan Cheeseman, Jennifer Ewert, Mavie Burke, James Graben, Ingrid Stoke over in Norway.
Thank you.
Krista Fleischer, Adam Davies, Iris Price, yes. I was Rice. I was right.
You were Rice.
I was Rice. Aaron Sayer, Tanner Dick or Dyke.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Timothy Young, Victoria Steen, Kevin Teitelbaum, Elizabeth Payette, Sarah Gilbo. She's terrific, by the way. Thank you so much,
been
Sarah.
For a long
she
time
donates
with us.
so
Thank
many
you guys.
times
Yeah,
too.
she's the
Thank
best.
you, Sarah. You're terrific. Justine Desalich, Amanda Campbell, Behavior Resource LLC. I'm not sure what that is. Give them your money.
Buy something.
Give them some business.
Buy
Whatever
some
it takes.
behavior
Go
research.
find out about behavior resources. Matthew Miller, Sandy Yu. There's the Asian one.
Okay.
Iona Nelson. Thank you, Iona. Josh Cole, Autumn Allen, Mariah. God damn it. Mariah Menhier. I know. I see her name all the time. Mariah Menhier. Thank you. Big homie Dana Grayson also. And Kevin Wagner, the guy sends snail mail money.
Love it.
It's the funniest donation ever.
Thank you, man.
We get to the studio and there's an envelope with cash in it.
It's so
and
cool.
It's hysterical.
And a little note. We appreciate it, dude.
So
thank
much.
you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
And thank all of you guys, really.
It's true.
We
can't do it without you guys.
We can't. We really can't.
Getting to the studio is a fucking nightmare some days. And knowing that you guys really care it's what gets us here.
You've changed our lives. I hope you know that. It's not just. I mean, it's nice that we're there's a point to this now to where we get money and stuff and that's terrific and all that. But you've changed our lives in other ways. Though you have no idea what you've done for our lives, for our careers, and for our just general demeanors.
You're opening doors for us that we couldn't open before.
No,
and it's because you guys are there listening and you give a shit and we appreciate it.
And that's the truth, man. So thank you guys so much for quite literally changing our lives for the better. You really have. I lead a different life than I did 2 years ago.
It's awesome.
And it's because of you guys. And so we can't thank you guys enough for all of that. And what if one of these people wanted to say thank a guy like you? How would they do that? How could they get a hold of you?
You can tell me how much of an asshole I am at Whisman Sucks, WHISMAN Sucks on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. I appreciate you guys following and play along. It's really changes my life just having you guys around and letting us know that you're liking it. So thank you.
And I am at Jimmy P is funny. You can find me there, or try to copy and paste my last name from the show description. Don't try to spell it because there's an I in there and you won't be able to know where it is, and you'll fuck it all up. It'll be a big disaster. Follow us on social media, though. I really try to get back to everybody, and I try my best. And quickly, let me go over my schedule with you guys quick, okay?
All right.
Sunday, have my kids all day. They stay over.
That's your day.
That's my day.
Yeah.
When they go to bed, I edit Crime and Sports. I edit Crime and Sports all night. I go to bed about 4:30 in the morning. I wake up at 5:30 in the morning, get my kids up, take them to school. I come home. I finish editing Crime and Sports because it takes goddamn forever. And then I start doing? Picking out this week's cases, getting all of that. Tuesday morning, I wake up, know what I do, and I check shit, and then I have to go pick my kids up from school because then I have them. Tuesday night, I have them.
Jesus.
I edit Small Town Murder Tuesday night, get 2 hours of sleep, take the kids to school in the morning. Then we're in Wednesday. I come home, I finish editing. I have to put out that because I have to upload and write a description and a title.
Right.
Same thing as Monday night. I had to do that with Crime and Sports.
Right.
Then it's Wednesday night. Guess what we're in? We're in the hard swing for Saturdays coming up to record. So I'm in the midst of fucking researching while I'm editing something, and then Thursday's all research, and Friday's all research, and Saturday we're here. I wake up on 2 hours sleep, come to the studio, and I'm here.
Here we are.
And people are like, why don't you respond to my shit on Facebook? I would love to, and I don't mean to be a dick.
It'd be so much better.
I would love to respond to your shit on Facebook, but literally, there's times where I'm like, I need 2 hours of not anything to do with these fucking shows.
James is so regretting telling you guys 10,000 reviews and you'll get a bonus episode.
Jesus Christ. And now we have P.S. I Hate This Movie coming back this week.
We got live shows, man.
Fucked. Live shows coming. That's the other thing. Live shows. I'm doing my best. What I mean to say after all that is I love you guys and thank you for talking to me because I appreciate it so much, and I know that you don't have to talk to me.
Right.
And I really love you guys for it, and so does Jimmy. We appreciate the fuck out of this, man. Just acknowledging our existences.
Right.
So thank you guys.
Here's my schedule.
For everything.
I'm going to go home from here. I'm going to go home and slow stroke until next Saturday.
Oh, that's not bad, Jimmy. That's pretty good. That's pretty good shit. I like that. That's an idea right there.
And in between finishing, I'll write some messages back to people on all kinds of social media.
And there too, I have to see my wife, and, have a nice relationship, and actually play with my kids and not focus on this shit. It's tough, man. It's
plan
a tough
some
thing.
outings and shit.
That's the thing. But guys, thank you for all of that. Really, honestly, we can't do it without you. Keep coming back and listening every single week because we're not going anywhere.
No.
God damn it, we can't go anywhere. We're contractually obligated to be here.
We can go to Boston. We can go to Detroit.
We will go to Boston. We will go to Detroit.
And so many other places.
So many other places, but not right now.
Right.
We'll do that then.
Yeah.
And until next week, everybody, it's been our pleasure.
Bye. Hey guys, I just want to tell you real quick, web support is brought to you by webandwriter.com. If you're looking to build a website, go over to webandwriter.com. They build websites that look great on all screens, graphics, logos, engaging content. Go over to webandwriter.com or go over to facebook.com/webandwriter. They'll build you an unbelievable website at a very fair rate. They'll build you a very great website. Go see them, webandwriter.com.
Most people think Hawaii is pretty wonderful, but most people don't find changing planes quite so wonderful. Hawaiian Airlines is on it. We're now flying nonstop from Long Beach to Honolulu and nonstop from Oakland to Kauai. And we're flying advanced new Airbus A321neo aircraft. We're talking a modern, fuel-efficient marvel of aviation technology here. The plane matters, and so does the airline. Choose well. Find our best fares at hawaiianairlines.com.
ADT can design and install a smart home just for you, backed by 24/7 protection. A new smart home at your service, customized for your lifestyle. Set up custom automations unique to your home to automatically do the things like lock the doors or set the thermostat when you leave. Even close your garage door from virtually anywhere. ADT will set up your home with multiple smart home devices and security features like indoor and outdoor cameras, locks, lights, and garage door control, even video doorbells. Visit ADT.com/podcasts to learn more about how ADT can design and install a secure smart home just for you.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
He was hip-hop's biggest mogul, the man who redefined fame, fortune, and the music industry.
The first male rapper to be honored on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Sean Diddy Combs.
Diddy built an empire and lived a life most people only dream about.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But just as quickly as his empire rose, it came crashing down.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I made no excuses. I'm disgusted. I'm so sorry.
Until you're wearing an orange jumpsuit, it's not real. Now it's real.
From his meteoric rise to his shocking fall from grace, from law and crime, this is the rise and fall of Diddy. Listen to the rise and fall of Diddy exclusively with Wondery Plus.